All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live on Meridius Radio.
We are live.
Oliver Manley's here, co-host Christopher Lim, and we're here with Mike Gillespie. If this is your first time watching, this is Meridius Radio on every Thursday. We're going to start doing it every Thursday at 8 p.m., which is prime time for you guys if you guys want to watch. And this show is for people who are seeking self-knowledge, self-love, self-mastery. A lot of the topics we talk about is entrepreneurial related, about personal development, about relationships, about health. So if you're watching this right now, you don't have to necessarily be an entrepreneur. There's a lot of value here. We have a ton of guests ranging from investors, life coaches, creators, artists, people who are doing amazing things that are true to themselves. And today, Chris and I are lucky enough to have Mr. Mike Gillespie on the show. So let's freaking give him a round of applause.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, the big wicked story. We got to share the story.
Totally. Well, first let's introduce Mike. Mike is the founder of Student Giant. That was the first business that I remember you being in. So this student rental expert out of St. Catharines, Ontario, the Niagara region. And one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on the show is because from last year we were part of a mastermind group. We would meet every single month and talk about, life, work, relationships, all the shit that we're going through.
Yep.
And you went through freaking new levels during the group. And one of the most amazing feats was achieving your financial freedom on the day, literally the day that you were...
the day before, right?
Or the day before,
day.
but still, man, within
to
24
the day,
hours.
Yeah.
Without even, you weren't even watching the day.
Yeah.
You weren't okay, this is the day that I promised myself. It
Yeah.
just so happened that was the day that you left your job, which was a tight, secure, government job, public sector job, to be a full-time investor, full-time entrepreneur.
Yeah. I was freaked out when I looked at that date. So it was really, really cool. Yeah.
And we'll get into the story more later as well.
Mm-hmm.
And now a real estate business
coach
and life coach to a lot
partner
of people.
with Mr. Joy,
who was on the show just a few weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And we're just freaking happy to have you on. I've been trying to get this guy to come on for a while.
I know.
And you're really far away too, so that's why it's
Yeah.
kind of got to plan ahead and the family and all that as well. So yeah, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, guys.
Let me get the tea.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me get the tea.
Get out of the way.
Yeah.
You got enough water on for a couple?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
We get a big pot.
Awesome.
Yeah, we always rock some tea.
Cool, man.
This guy puts the empty cup right in front of the camera. Anyways, man. So yeah, you know what? Why don't you tell the people who are watching just retell the story about, what you went through. When did this all start? Thinking about wanting to achieve financial freedom or, wanting to invest in real estate. And because obviously if you've been in a job for, 10, 15, 20 years, it takes a lot to have, there has to be some sort of shift that happens to be fuck, I want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I
want to have my own business.
Yeah.
I want to be financially free. So what happened?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I started in my job. It's probably been about 11 years now. And I was actually, there were a couple people in my job who were investing in real estate and more specifically student rentals. So I started to inquire a bit. I got onto Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read that a couple times. And I took that and then just started taking action. I bought my first real estate property in St. Catharines. It was a student rental.
And that was how many years ago?
8 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 years ago. And
So it's 2004 then?
Yeah.
2004, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I bought another one a year after, another student rental. And I just continued layering on more properties as the years went on.
So you read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Was it because one of his philosophies is to create enough passive income to replace your living expenses? Is that why you chose student rentals? Was there another reason?
At the time, no. That was I just chose student rentals because that's what the people around me were doing. Mm-hmm. Damn, those numbers are good.
Yeah,
those work well for me. So I bought into it, and it's gone pretty well ever since.
So St. Catharines is a university town.
Yeah, so
that's probably the big reason.
Yeah, so it's got Brock University. So there's 20,000 students there, and they have Niagara College as well. So my strategy, I bought in between the college and the university, thinking that, you know, if it didn't get rented to one, I'd have the other to fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to rent to Brock and Niagara College students. My strategy has shifted since then, but I still get those places rented.
So how long did it take you to get from reading Rich Dad Poor Dad and understanding the philosophy behind, you know, passive income and real estate before you actually took action and put an offer on a house? Was it a long time? Like, were you humming and hawing about it, or was it like right away?
No, I'd probably say within probably 6 months.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, you know, when I see an opportunity, and if it presents itself well, then I take action on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, what did that do for you when you started seeing? Obviously, you were getting some cash flow. Like, how much? What kind of cash flow, if you don't mind me asking? On the first property, let's say. This is your first investment property. You just got it rented.
Yeah.
It's the first type of passive income.
Yeah.
That you've had.
Yeah. It was at least $900 a month.
Whew.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, you know,
for some people, that's like half the month.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So, I mean, looking back on that investment, and I still have it, and it still
You
rents.
still own that house.
Yeah. I see how I forced that investment. I bought into it because everybody else was buying into it. It was a frenzy. I see other people making money, so I just rushed into it and just bought.
Mm-hmm.
It worked out for me, but it was funny
luck.
how I forced that investment. You know, it was a 3-bedroom single-family house, and I carved that house up into so many rooms. Ended up being a 6-bedroom student rental.
Wow.
You know, I did some renovations in the basement. You know, there was some,
You did it yourself?
no,
Or-
not me personally.
Okay.
I facilitated the work. So, you know, I forced a small bathroom in the basement. There was this one long living room down in the basement. I put a wall there. The headroom was
man.
low because of the ducts, and I got that rented. No problem at all. So the market has shifted a little bit out there since then. So I don't buy like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So
you didn't really have a strategy back then. You were were you following the hype? Is that?
yeah, you can pretty much buy anything, and you can get the thing rented for
Wow.
a good profit.
And it's not like that anymore. Is that what you're saying?
It's not as easy out there because there are a lot of other investors in there, and students are a little pickier. There's more
is
of a
it
supply out there.
More people are starting to notice that it's a good market. That it's a good market for student rentals.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
competitive to choose, like, find properties, or.
Yeah, it is. But thankfully, a lot of landlords don't take care of their properties, and it's easy to stand out among everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, slumlords essentially.
There are a lot in student rentals.
They
Yeah.
just don't they don't care.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, do they not care because there's no incentive for them to even improve the properties? Is it?
Well,
Is it the landlord tenant board rules that make it, you know, lack of incentive? Like, what is it? Why do people not give a crap?
Because they'd always get their places rented.
Regardless.
And they didn't feel that they needed to put any work into it. Whereas
Wow.
I know I'll get my places rented, but if I spent a little money and was a little more visible to the tenants, I'd attract better groups.
Mm-hmm.
So if I offered good things, I'd attract a good group. I could charge a premium on my rents, and management would be a lot easier because I have a good group in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, we were just talking about his first property.
The first one?
Yeah.
Was your first one in St. Catharines?
Yeah.
Oh, it
Student
was?
rental. Yeah.
Because you have some Hamilton properties as well, didn't you?
I have one Hamilton property, and that was the one we used to live in. And we moved from there 4 or 5 years ago, and we're still renting to the same tenant.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Awesome.
So these are serious long-term holds.
That one's going to be, yeah.
Yeah.
The Hamilton one, yeah.
For that many years, I mean, that's
So
nice.
I started with student rentals, then I dabbled in single family, rent to owns. I contemplated flips. I bounced around, all the shiny objects, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny, I come full circle right back to student rentals where I started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that was while you had the job, and that's all while you had the job. You
Yeah.
accumulated these properties
Yeah.
all while you had the
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, and we financed them all on our own.
So no joint venture
ventures.
partners.
My last property we bought was my first joint venture.
Wow.
Oh,
was a student
really?
rental.
The
And
most
that was
recent
what
one.
number?
That was the 11th.
11th. So your
Yeah.
11th door.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, man.
So the first 10 by yourself.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah. That's
Honestly,
amazing.
there's not many, because part of the RAIN philosophy, real estate investment network, is, if you don't have enough money, if you don't have the money or ability to get the mortgage, then you joint venture it. You get a partner involved.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like that idea of having partners involved, because obviously if they don't have the money, then the only way they're going to accumulate the property, the portfolio that they want, is to partner up.
Yeah.
And then there's someone like you that is freaking rare, that has built that substantial portfolio without any help,
Yeah,
really.
all by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
How the
Back
hell
in-
did you do that?
Back in the day, it was easier to get financing.
With only 5% down, lending rules a little
Or
bit
less than
easier.
5%.
Yes,
Less than
yes.
5%?
Yeah, cash back mortgages, 0% down,
okay.
5% downs. That's how we started investing. So that's what allowed us to accumulate the amount of properties we had, or we still have. So we took advantage of that. And
Wow.
so we've sold one property out of all of them, and that was a rent to own that
Yeah.
went through 2-year term, and
Successful.
they bought. Yeah.
I remember you telling me
Awesome.
about that.
Yeah, I
so
remember
that
that
was earlier this year. It
Yeah.
was the first sale. I probably even picked your brain about
Oh, yeah.
What do you do?
The
financing,
agreements.
the
Yeah,
agreements.
yeah. What do
Yeah.
you do on a sell? Because I've been in this for 7 years and I've never sold. So
That's really good, man.
That's
So, well, I
great.
mean, for those 0% and 5%, you're probably just getting into a significant equity position. Is that, or was it, did it catch up? I mean,
it's caught up. Yeah.
okay.
Because with the student rental properties, we went in there and did some work.
paid 'em
So we
early,
buy
or-
them as a 3-bedroom home, then we convert them into 6-bedroom homes. So we increase cash flow, which increases
Nice.
the property value substantially. So, we've taken some equity out of a couple to help us buy other ones. So we use that strategy to help us continue to buy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was the question I had. Were you able to, or now I guess, able to realize some of that equity, take it out,
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
it onto new properties?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So would you do student rentals? Would you say you can use the same system like anywhere? Like other university towns?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Except for the bedroom rule.
Exactly. So there are some cities, and that's always a concern with student rentals. That
Huge.
they have they have the licensing in some cities, Waterloo and
Yeah, that was a big
Durham.
one that went in last year, was it?
Yeah,
year
last
and a
year.
half ago?
Yeah. So that's always a concern, and that actually kind of stalled me for a bit. I'm like, oh shit, this can happen, and what do I do?
Yeah, if it can happen here, it can happen.
And I'm like, you know
or
what? Screw it.
yeah.
This is working. I'm going to continue to do it as it's working, and I'll buy smart now, knowing if that happened, I'm set up. So either I could sell, or I'm buying now with the potential of putting a basement walkout in, because if they implement something like that, there's things you can do to make it work.
Yeah, to comply.
Yeah,
Well, you'd still cash flow even if you had two
Yeah.
less bedrooms, right?
you would. Yeah.
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 Just not as nicely.
Right. Yeah. So if they lowered it to 4 bedrooms, which is what they've done in other cities, then landlords should just raise rents.
Raise the
Yeah.
rents.
Yeah.
So even though they're trying to limit it, the tenants, the consumers, are gonna end up paying for it.
That's exactly
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
They have no
Yeah.
freaking.
So all they're doing
clue.
is trying to,
Well,
to spread out the problem
yeah.
by not having
Yeah.
the big party with all these 6-bedroom student rentals all in one cluster.
That's why he left the government.
Yeah.
So is that was the main issue for these? Were there's too many people in one house, too much partying?
Yeah. Yeah. The local tenant, the local
The owners.
residents,
Yeah.
they don't like all the parties and things like that. So they think
Well,
that
why don't they
if
move
they
to another town?
I
Like
know,
a
I know.
neighborhood.
I know you're in a student
Yeah, you're
rental
in it.
city. I mean, they always complain about all these things, but this is generating a lot of revenue for the city, and
Yeah,
They always
and
focus-
taxes and university tuitions
I know.
and everything that they're paying for. It's
they always
huge.
focus on the negative with the student, but there are a lot of positives.
Yeah.
And as I
They're
said,
the ones who are going to take the jobs in the city when
Yeah.
they're done.
Yeah.
too.
So as I said, I mean, we attract good tenants that take care of our houses, and with our student rentals, we fit in. We do landscaping. We have the grasses cut. We're just like any other house, but we have students there. We've had a group of students stay with us this is their 3rd year now. They're actually just moving out
Wow.
now because they've graduated. They take pride in the house. You go in there, you see them putting up like quotes on the walls.
Wait,
No,
students taking
sweet.
pride in the house?
No, you don't hear that too often. And Michelle, she came and
That's
checked
rare.
out one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're landscaping. Like when we do a little bit of landscaping. They would go buy plants. They'd go buy weed, like the Miracle Grow and all that stuff, and they're out watering. Then the neighbors across the street, they're elderly couple, they'll come across the street with cookies and shit like that. I know, you never hear that stuff.
That's a freaking landlord's dream.
Yeah.
Most people think that's a fantasy.
Yeah. So as I said, I mean, you just put some effort into it, and you get a good group. All that stuff that we put in there, like we go above and
I see your
beyond.
pictures on Facebook saying, "Oh, we just grabbed the new TV for our student rental."
Yeah.
you know, as like
Small
a present,
stuff, right?
You know, here's a gift basket.
Keurig.
What do you bring? You bring the Keurig
the
coffee machines?
maker? Yeah. Again, like that's so cheap. It's like $70.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
At 70, that you pay $70, but you save because they're not gonna go crazy in the house.
Yeah.
They're gonna respect you as a landlord. They're not gonna punch a hole through the wall and do stupid crap.
Exactly. So I mean, exam time. You know, you treat them right. You just you take an order for some dinner, pizzas, whatever they want, right? Then you go pick it up and you drop it off, so they don't have to cook and they can study and the good stuff, right? So you take care of them, they take care of you, and you know, just before final exams, you know, if they're moving out after that semester, you give them a good gesture and they remember that. So when it comes time for them to move out, like, oh, I don't want to be a creep, you know, we'll clean up the house for you.
Yeah.
So you give a little, you get a lot in return. So yeah, it's
your
Excellent philosophy.
Not a
for
slumlord.
life in general.
no. And as I said, it's easy to be a slumlord with student rentals.
Yeah.
But that's not for me. I'd rather pay a little extra money, which I get to write off anyway. All that stuff I'm talking about, I write it all off. I furnish the places. People are like, why would you furnish it? They're going to ruin your furniture. I say, or they don't ruin the furniture and they take care of it. So like anything else, if they punch a hole in the wall, they have to pay for it.
Yeah.
I get a parent to sign as a guarantor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're held accountable for stuff. Same with furniture. You just add that to the list of stuff. If you mess up the furniture, you know, above and beyond normal wear and tear, then it's on you.
Yeah.
But it shows awesome. My wife, Tiffany, she comes in, she'll stage the house. We put art up on the walls and, you know, the flowers and all the little pretty books. And done on, you know, she knows what she's doing. So,
Dude, you're painting a very pretty picture of being a real estate investor in student rentals, because I think a lot of people might have the mindset of, this guy's a slumlord. This guy achieved financial freedom through his real estate. This guy must screw people like crazy. He must be, you know, ripping people off in their rents and, you know, chinsing here, chinsing there.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it sounds it's complete opposite.
Yeah.
It's complete opposite of what people would
Yeah,
think.
I get that pretty frequently with you
Like
know,
what?
the slum.
People
Like
from your
when you
old
say
job?
student. Yeah, exactly. So
What are we drinking here, man?
I think we had this a couple weeks back. Nightcap?
Nightcap. It's gonna put me to sleep.
I don't know. We'll see.
We're gonna be talking.
We're not gonna go to sleep now.
Yeah.
You might have to grab a coffee on the way home,
Yeah. Nice.
or we'll caffeine you up before you leave.
cool.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, student rentals are great. You know, like when I go to Rain, you know, people are like, oh, you're in student rentals, and then like, oh, you know. But
People
there's
stay
that
away, yeah.
there's that misconception that it's not.
It's a night. Some people think it's a nightmare. It's like students. I don't want the
A
problem.
lot
the,
of
the
management,
parties,
all
the
this.
keg parties, and the puke and the.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Because I've been to student rentals. You know, well, not student. Well, I guess student rentals that are for sale that I'm able to look at.
Yeah.
And slumlords like
Where was this?
crazy. This was in London. I was helping my friend look at some places in London.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were just people don't care.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the landlord doesn't care, the students aren't going to care.
Yeah.
You don't want to start it out like that. Like I want to start with a good baseline. So when they move in, we get 12-month leases. So old group moves out late April, new group moves in or could move in early May. That's when their lease term would start. Rarely do they actually move in then. It usually sits vacant with them paying throughout the summer until they, you know, maybe mid-August they'll officially move in.
Okay.
But you want to start with a good baseline. You know, the house is clean. You know, you come in and you do your pre-inspection with them. You know, this is what we're starting with.
There's a wow factor, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, and it's good to have a good respect between the existing tenants and landlord.
Yeah.
Because when it comes time to show the property, if you're on good terms, then when you're showing the house to prospective tenants, they kind of do their part to, you know, put the shoes in the closet and clean the dishes.
Yeah.
Show it up a little bit.
Yeah. So it really helps.
Would it ever make
good.
sense to, because you're not joint ventured in like a bunch of those properties, would it ever make sense to bring in a partner into those properties that are already performing, and you can cashed out for half of your
Yeah.
Is that
Your
how you
equity
did
or whatever it is?
that?
Can you do
Your
that?
11th property, is that how you did it? You joint ventured somebody into an existing property?
No, new property.
new.
It was a new property.
Yeah. So yeah, there is the potential to do that on an existing one, and it would probably be easier to do that than going in on a new one
Yeah.
because
you're
there's a
controlling,
controlling,
already
you have
performing.
history.
yeah, here's what it's done.
Expectations
in the last
are there
7
already.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's an option.
Yeah,
That's
for
for
sure.
sure.
If you got a good
Cool.
equity position, you have whatever 50% loan of value. You get somebody to come in for 30%. You're 80% loan of value. You could take that 30%, put on a new property,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
at least that property's already had 5, 7, 10 year history.
Yeah, and that's an avenue I haven't explored too much with the RRSP seconds and all those things. So
There's a whole slew of
I know.
things that we can
That you can do.
explore.
I know.
Especially once you're there.
Yeah, especially now that I have some time to.
To
do
think
that.
about it and consider it
Yeah.
and analyze it.
Yeah. So talking about that, the time. What are you doing with your time now? I know you are doing a lot of coaching.
Yeah. So yeah, just a lot more balance in my life. It was difficult at first. It sounds easy. Oh, now you got a whole day. Now
I
you
thought
just gotta
balance
do
is
stuff.
bullshit.
Yeah, I know what's balance, hey, but yeah, probably the
Balance
last
chaos.
Yeah. It was back then, but it's not so much now.
So you've got it's been a year,
It's been a little more than a
a
year.
little more
now.
than a year.
Yeah.
So you've gotten into the rhythm, gotten into a flow,
Yeah,
good routine
yeah.
for
It
yourself.
took me a
now.
bit.
What was
took
it
me a
like?
bit.
What was it like? Just because for me, I was in corporate world for like a year and a bit.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like whatever. It was like nothing
Yeah.
big. You were there for over a decade. So what was the first couple of
much a
months
decade,
like?
yeah.
The hell did you do?
Yeah.
Or didn't do? What did you not do?
Yeah. I didn't have a plan for my day. Like when I first started, I just kind of kept busy at my rental properties.
Yeah, I remember that
installing-
when we were doing
Yeah.
mastermind, and you were just kind of like
doing laminate flooring
Yeah.
and doing this and doing that, and I don't mind that stuff. But then it eventually got old. Like you know when
Yeah.
people say, "Oh, I just want to have free time," well, that gets old pretty quick.
yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
So you
to do
mean
it
you
for a
can't
bit.
golf for 12 months a year?
Yeah, you can try. You'll probably make it 12 days, but
Yeah, you
it
start
gets
to
kinda
lose your
old.
mind.
yeah. So I did that for the first couple weeks, and I started to incorporate exercise back into my days. I kept talking about it while I was in my job, but I was just so busy with everything. I have 2 young girls, so it's you can relate, right? Just
Which
the
reminds me,
busyness.
we got to set up something again soon.
Yeah, for sure. Those are always fun days. So,
Yeah.
but
Niagara
it's
was a good
just
time.
so busy with getting everyone ready in the morning, getting out the door, rushing off to work, coming home, either making dinner or picking up the kids, and then rush. You might have an extracurricular activity with the kids, or their bath, or then it's nighttime, and then you're tired.
Yeah.
Where the heck do you fit in exercise? And I kept saying, I don't want to exercise, blah, 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 blah. But
No you
just-
time.
Exactly. And I didn't know what the heck you time was back then.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm experiencing a good amount of that now.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as I said, it took me probably a good 8 months just to get into a good rhythm. Like, I'd get distracted. I used to let things get to me, I was easily distracted back then.
Yeah.
Right. Now I'm comfortable working from home. Right. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But exercise, is part of my day.
Yeah.
now.
I see that all the time. Your Facebook updates.
Yeah.
Chest and
Yeah.
back
Close the
time.
door.
And
Yeah. Well, you know
Plyometrics
what? Like,
time.
I could thank you guys. You guys, you lit the fire with your Facebook posts. The exact same shit. And I know there's people pissed off out there with me posting that shit, but I want to motivate people with you guys.
Yeah,
how
you're
you
way
motivated
too
me to do
positive.
that.
That's
Yeah.
you're no.
I know.
It
You
keeps
can't be that.
accountable too,
You can't
right?
be
I
that
kinda like
positive
that.
and inspirational. Come on.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. So
That's actually something that I'm going to start. I should actually start incorporating again, is posting what I'm actually doing.
yeah.
I've been
I
doing
want you guys to
running
know
and-
that people do look at that. Even if 95% of the people get pissed off at you posting that shit, that's cool with me. I want to inspire the 5% who are listening and will take
Yeah.
action.
Yeah.
So, your posts with the runs and the P90X and all that stuff, that I'm doing it. Remember
Yeah.
a year ago, just as I was probably about to leave the job, I started to inquire about P90X,
Yep.
and then there were all these
Remember that.
expenses. I'm like, oh, like you could easily just screw it. I'm not going to do it. All these costs,
So many
all this
excuses.
time. I know. So
Yeah.
I'm like, screw it. I
So
bought-
how is adding that exercise routine, that daily you time, how's that changed your life?
Huge. My energy is just amazing. I get up early. I get up at 5 a.m. So that was something new for me this year.
Are you still doing that now?
Yeah.
You're still getting up at
Yeah.
5?
That's
Congratulations,
huge.
man.
That's
for the
huge.
majority of the time. There's
Yeah.
actually 2 days this week where I didn't do it just because
Is
I
it
had
a
a couple
weekend,
late nights doing just some cool stuff with the wife. We went to an Iron Chef competition last night.
I saw that. That's wicked,
Did you?
man.
I didn't
Yeah.
see that. It's
Okay,
awesome.
how did you become a judge for an Iron Chef competition?
It wasn't like
That's
the
so
ones on
cool.
TV.
Yeah,
So it's
but-
not
Oh, I
like
see.
it's not like it was a panel, and they're up there cooking. I didn't actually realize what it was until I actually went there.
Okay.
You are judging
That's
it.
awesome.
They cook for you, but they cook for a large room of people.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Is
was,
it
was
tiny-
lobster and tenderloin? That was the
Everyone.
foods.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That was
so
the
it was
theme.
4 entrees. I'm like,
Oh my god.
so it was cool.
Yeah.
So there are things like that come up,
Come
but
with
for the
an
most
appetite.
part, I do the 5 a.m. on weekdays. Usually it's 5 days a week,
Yeah.
but
And on the
you-
weekends,
it-
what time do you wake up?
That's usually family days, unless we have a mastermind.
I completely
Coaching.
blew it with that 5 a.m. club
Yeah,
video
yeah.
series.
At least you tried it.
I tried it. I wake up at 5:30 now, so
Close enough.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're waking up at 5:30
Yeah.
now?
How many days a week?
it's just natural. Like I'll wake up at 5:30 now. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know. I'm just having really full days that I go to sleep at like 10:30, 10:45
Do ya?
without even trying. It's just like I just end up falling asleep.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy
Yeah.
crap, I'm so tired right now, and
Yeah.
it's so early. Awesome, whatever.
Big shift for me. I used to stay up. When I was in my job, I'd have to stay up late to get
your
the
work.
business stuff done.
Yeah.
Or even just like all the time that you needed for yourself.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
thinking or.
I didn't
reading
have that
or-
though.
You never
It was-
even did that.
No, it was just all focused on some sort of business.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the kids to bed finally at 8:30, and then it's you're right into that business stuff. But it wasn't overly focused because you can imagine being at a job all day, and then the kids and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and so
you
I'm
only
up till 2 a.m. But how productive am I?
Yeah.
So
And dude, it's not glamorous, man.
What's that?
It's not glamorous to when you hear it promoted. You have a full-time job. Keep your full-time job so you can get a mortgage. Get mortgages so you can get rental properties. Now you have this part-time job. So you have a full-time job, which is whatever, your 9 to 5. Then you have a part-time job, which is managing, acquiring properties, as well as managing joint venture partners.
Yeah.
When the hell do you have family time, kids time,
Yeah.
you time?
exactly.
Like a lot of
Yeah.
people promote this idea that you should have a part-time business called investing in real estate,
Yeah.
and they say it's passive. How passive is it, man?
No, it's not passive. I was a property manager for all of my properties for up until probably about a year ago. So I was looking after all of the properties and, talking about the family stuff. Like I wasn't present for the Olivia for probably the first year and a half. Like I wasn't absent, but mentally I was. Physically I was in the room, but I'm not hearing what's
Yeah.
going on. It was just, my head is just racing, because I really wanted to leave my job. All these ideas were floating around, and I'd be distracted by the phone all the time, and I just wasn't present. And that was a really, really big shift for me to just make a conscious effort to turn the ringer off, put the phone away,
Yeah.
and I just have a renewed relationship with Olivia, and Sydney's my younger daughter, and I'm there.
Yeah.
Physically and mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty
That
cool.
seems to be a pretty common theme. Well, I mean, not for you, but for a lot of us who have kids.
Yeah.
Like even Joey, and now with Ian, he made a huge life change last week. If you saw the show, big life change. Spending a lot of time with his daughter now, and
Yeah.
it's funny when you take that time. When you take that time for yourself and take that time to eat properly and exercise, you actually do find that you have more time for the other things in your life that are really more important
Yeah.
than just like business.
Yeah.
Right? You have time for your wife, right? You
Yeah.
have time for your daughters, you have
Yeah.
time for your family.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Big balance shift for me.
Yeah.
You know, I do this exercise, it's a life balance wheel exercise, and I do it regularly just to show where
What's
I am.
What's the life balance wheel? What is that?
Yeah, so it's basically
Like the
areas.
Tony Robbins one?
I think I've heard of this.
I had it from a coach that I had previously, and at the time, you know, I did this exercise. You know, it was more business stuff, so I was focused on the business aspect of it. But she got me to do this exercise, and I didn't really pull it out until probably about a year and a half ago. I first did the exercise probably like 4 years ago, and it wasn't until, you know, I started in on this path of, you know, financial freedom and taking a break from the job that I actually think back about that.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the exercise is, you know, areas of your life. So, you know, your primary relationships with your partner, your health, your profession, your environment.
And it's in the shape of a wheel.
Shape of a wheel, and then you rank each area how you are out of 1 to 10.
Like how you're doing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you basically connect it, and ideally it would be nice if it was a circle.
Everything's
Everything's 10.
That would be nice, but chances are you'll probably have an 8, a 2, a 4. So it's
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the real wheel example. So if your wheel is all like that, and you
Unreliable
try to
wheel
roll
right
it,
there.
it's bouncing. You know, there's potholes.
Yeah.
So you
Oh.
can imagine that's how you're going through life. So trying to get momentum when it's bouncing all the time, it's difficult. So you want to try to even it out as best you can. Even if it's all fours and it's round, at least it's moving. Versus you're really strong in like finances, which I was when I was in my job. It was like an 8, but my environment, who I was surrounded with, kept declining month over month. So
Explain that further.
Yeah.
The environment, because I think the people that we surround ourselves is such a huge factor in our mindset and what we're going to achieve in our life. So
And
what was the environment like?
I worked for the government, so all the stories you hear about working for the government are
Cushy,
true and then some.
cushy,
Yeah.
great benefits, never gonna, it's impossible to get let go.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, right? So, what got me there was the sense of entitlement, the negativity. It just dragged me down. I do a good job generally with, putting the earmuffs on, they're talking and I can't hear them, but you got to understand that if the majority of the people are that way and it's constant, you may not get the earmuffs on in time before some of that shit sinks in, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you look around at people there who have been there for the longer they're there, the more grumpy and disgruntled they get. And then I ask the question, if I stay here, that could be me.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that really could be me. So I'm like, I don't want that. So I did something about it. Yeah.
Well, that's the amazing thing. I mean, you hear it all the time. People surround themselves and they just complain and they talk and have all this negativity. But do they ever do anything about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
They just, the shitty part is that they experience the negativity at work, and then they go and tell everybody about the negativity at work.
Yeah.
And then those friends experience the negativity, and then, they spread it somewhere else too.
Yeah.
Whether it's yelling at their spouse or their kids
Yeah.
or their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever it is, or punching
Yeah.
a punching bag. I don't know.
Yeah. But you
But
hit
still.
a thing on with, you are who you surround yourself with. And
Birds of a
it's-
feather
it's
fly
a-
together.
it's a big reason why I'm at where I am right now, because of my shift in who I started to hang with. So you talked about, the mastermind group that we created well over a year now. And
I can't believe that. It's a year and a half
It's
ago.
amazing to look back at
What we were
started
doing and what we were thinking and what we were up to back then is
that's where we were at the time.
Yeah, that's
So-
where we were at the time.
And here's where we're at now, and
lifetimes
it's
ago.
going to be
feels like.
pretty cool where
Yeah.
we're at.
Next year and the year
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, it's just going to be exponential from here.
Well, I remember. I don't know if you remember, but I think we actually spoke about it when you actually finally hit that goal. You left your work, and just the physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual change that we saw in you
Shit, dude.
from like 1 month when we met to the next month, and you were just a
Yeah.
completely different person. Like,
Confidence-wise.
completely different person.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I'll talk to you about that
Right
because,
away. It was
I-
amazing.
I worked with computers.
Were you in IT?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you have to keep current with computers, and I really didn't like my job anymore. So I had no desire to educate myself in newer stuff. So shit would get assigned to me, and I really didn't know what I was doing because I didn't learn about it.
Right.
So
Didn't keep up to date with the
yeah,
technology.
so you can imagine over time, that would affect my confidence. And I actually thought that I was confident. I thought that I was a happy person. But when I realized, I just took a step back and thought, I'm at my job for the majority of my life right now. I'm there for, at least 8 hours during the day and then commute and all that stuff. So probably 9 hours. That's a good amount of my day, my awake time on weekdays. So how can I lie to myself and say I'm happy and I'm confident when the majority of the time I'm in something where it makes me unhappy and not confident? So that was a pretty cool realization. It sounds so simple, but I just really didn't get it. But as I left, that's when the confidence shot up, because now I'm doing things I enjoy. I'm learning things that taking me down the path I want to go down. And I guess not surprisingly enough, I landed my first joint venture not long after I left my job. So I went to a networking group. I chatted with a stranger. Within like 2 or 3 meetings, he hands over like 50 grand and we go buy a property a couple months later.
Wow.
Just like that, eh?
And that's just confidence, right? And I probably couldn't see myself getting that prior to that.
Right.
I never even really had those conversations with people. So that's kind of cool.
That is very cool.
My God, man. So it's almost like
Very cool.
as soon as you cut that off,
Yeah.
life started accelerating for you.
And it was hard, as you can imagine, because I went right out of university and college, right into, I had a co-op position at the place of employment that I had. And I was there
That was
for
like
10
your
years.
first and only job after university.
First, real job, I guess, But, so I didn't really know anything otherwise. Aside
You
from,
couldn't compare it to anything else.
Yeah.
So you were just sort of following the natural progression.
Yeah.
Done college, what am I going to do? Get a job.
I got promoted, and thankfully I got.
Wait, you were there for 11 years.
Yeah.
And you started investing 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So that means you were at that job for 3 years, and then you were already like, I want to invest in real estate. I need to be an entrepreneur. Was that in your blood? Like, did you have family members who?
No, not at all.
Were there friends that maybe their parents were entrepreneurs?
No.
You were never exposed to that?
Nobody. No.
So where did that sort of click for you?
Just from the book?
3 years in, and then
Buddies at work were buying real estate.
Oh, okay,
Student rentals, and I bought the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. Read that a couple times. Started to going to networking groups.
So you sought it out, like you.
Yeah. Michelle. That was probably the first group that I was part of. Dollar Makers.
Dude, I
What
met you.
was it?
What's that?
That was that one of the first ones you were, or the
Yeah.
It was
first one you were?
2007, I
Wow.
think we met. 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
So that was probably one of my
Jeez,
first
that is
like
a long time
networking
ago.
groups, and I just kept going every month to Dollar Makers.
Dollar Makers, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just didn't get enough.
I went there 4 or 5 times in a row.
Yeah,
just
I
the
did
same
too.
thing, same content.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a good reminder, and it was good to kind of hang with,
Like mine.
People.
Well, yeah, you met Oliver, you met Michelle.
Yeah.
I met you through Michelle.
Yeah.
Right after that.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, that's where it came about. So it was kind of cool. So yeah, no, I didn't have anybody in my family at all.
No examples.
No, so it was just kind of learn on your own, and now I'm surrounding myself with really great people, so it helps accelerate the learning that much more.
Yeah.
And when you hang around cool people, everybody wants to give, whereas in the job everyone's kind of reserved and me.
Very
look what
scarce.
look what I did, and it's a lot of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this, like, it's just so cool. Like, even just, even like I go for my morning walks, and people are so freaking friendly. They'll go out of their way to say hello. How are you?
Yeah.
They appreciate
And smile
stuff.
and
Yeah, and I guess it's these people are more than likely retired too. Like, most of them are elderly, out and about.
And there's you retired as well.
It's because I do my runs in the morning as well, and it's cool just sort of seeing the people who are out there. It's a different mentality. Like when it's
They appreciate different things.
7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and everybody else is sort of rushing off the work, and you're having your alone time.
Doesn't
The
it feel
mentality
cool?
of people there is just It's different. I mean, going out to run at 7 in the morning.
Like I remember even when we
people
were
just are
like
different.
on weekdays. Remember we go for our bike rides and it was like
I know.
Monday at like
It's the best time.
10 in the morning or
The
something.
best time to go.
9, 10 in the morning.
And we're
We're
sitting
biking.
there. We just take a break. We're just on one of the bridges with the water. We're like, this is awesome.
Yeah, this is like the middle of the day on a Wednesday. Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
what are other people doing right now?
I know. Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm chilling by a waterfall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you up
doing?
to?
Yeah. So now it's about experiencing life right now. I used to always focus on the future. I'm in the now. So when I used to say that I wasn't present with my family, it's because I was always focused on the future. I'm on the now. So, we're doing experiences that, I probably wouldn't have done before.
Yeah.
So I just enjoy the moment versus the future.
Always thinking about the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that your lifestyle since you left has afforded us, even like your family and my family, to be able to do. We did Niagara. We did
Like day trips.
We even had we experienced the U.S. side of Niagara.
Yeah.
Right. We went there. The aquarium. We
Yeah.
had the 1-plate-8. Went sushi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what
The
life
best
is
stuff
about, right?
happens during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can control your schedule,
Yeah. And it's not busy.
Yeah.
I know.
Like you're not competing with all of these things.
especially
Yeah.
for traffic
Except sushi
or
was
going
pretty
Except,
busy.
except the sushi though was pretty.
Really,
Oh,
eh?
the play place was pretty busy too.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why was it so busy?
Because
Was
the
it a
U.S.
holiday that day?
no one has a job. No one's working.
No, we met up at indoor playground, but it was really.
Oh, okay.
It must have been a holiday or something because it was really busy that day.
That was a
who
massive
knows?
place.
It was a PA day or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want more of those days.
Yeah.
Those are awesome. And the kids just love that. It's just about experience, and we just hang. We hang with you guys, and then our kids are around the same age. They get to chill and just great conversation.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Like that. Those are the good days. And I just think, or I could be in my prison at work in cubicles.
God, yeah.
Like,
Surrounded by people you don't like,
Yeah.
listening to their stories.
Yeah.
And,
So I
yeah.
talked about, when I'm out on my runs or my walks in the morning, the smiles and all that shit. People go out of their way to, acknowledge you. But at my job, it was just all like, everyone's tired.
Everyone's just
ugh.
acid and dark
Yeah.
and gloomy.
And they go out of their way to lower their head. Like you're in the
And
kitchen,
they're like,
you're getting your
"Oh,"
lunch.
like this. They're on the computer, like hunched
And I'm
back.
like, really?
Yeah. Nobody wants to acknowledge you. They just
Yeah.
want to get their stuff and
Yeah.
move on.
Like there was just a small group of us that, we got along. We had similar interests. We'd go on regular breaks. We'd get up and not go to the cafeteria and sit there and drink coffee. We'd go out for our walk and eat vegetables
do
and drink our
something,
water. We'd speed walk and
So
we'd come back.
even in that environment, you were
You're
still
trying to
gravitating.
you're trying to
Yeah.
find people that are
Yeah.
like you.
So I was fortunate enough to
Awesome.
have a couple people in my office. Not many. There was always just the regular 2 or 3 people that would go out for the walks, but you have to do that, especially if you're sitting in front of a computer all day. Excuse me. Yeah, you got to get out of there.
The whole 80-20. It wouldn't even be 80-20 rule there. It would be like 97-3.
I know.
Yeah, yeah,
The 2 or 3 of you out of the 300.
yeah. So as time went on, like it just got worse and worse, and talking about the the life balance. Like, sure, my finances stayed up there at an 8 or a 9, but the other areas were getting affected. The physical health, because like I never really packed on pounds, but the energy just wasn't there,
Yeah.
and the motivation to take care of myself.
Dude, honestly, it was like 1 month you were like gray.
Yeah, I remember
and you
that.
quit your job and you were like beaming.
Yeah.
Like you're so different, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even now, I mean, you can see it.
Yeah.
You can see how the exercise and the health is really
Yeah,
just
Now you're all Mr.
transformed you
Smiley.
Yeah.
physically.
It's good, man.
yeah. I remember the first time I met Joey. We were talking about real estate and how I wasn't a fan of my job. He's like, just freaking quit.
I know.
I always like that.
Yeah,
I know.
He's just quit. Just
I know.
quit.
I'm looking at him like,
he's like me, man.
who's this guy?
I'm-
Like, you don't know.
What do you think you are? You don't know my problems. You don't know my.
If you work,
If you worked, oh. If
well,
he's
he's been an
listening,
entrepreneur forever.
Yeah,
so he's,
And you know
Exactly.
Joey's listening.
So if you guys are just tuning in, you're listening to Meridius Radio. We're here with Mike Gillespie, entrepreneur, holistic entrepreneur as well. He's a real estate investing expert and a coach for real estate entrepreneurs. And we will be announcing the winner of From Reynolds to Riches by Ian Zabo. He was on the show last week and he was kind enough to donate a signed copy of it. And we had a contest going on and we're going to announce the winner very shortly. And if you guys are just tuning in, make sure to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, which is youtube.com/Meridius Media, as well as youtube.com/Holistic Entrepreneur. And you can find us all on Facebook as well. So
Mike Gillespie, at Mike Gillespie.
yeah, Mike Gillespie,
Christopher
Christopher G. Lim, and Oliver Manalese. You could find us all there. And please, if you find value in this, please share it with your friends. And also, we are receiving some amazing donations, like the book. Joey was kind enough to donate some acoustic panels for us as well.
Yes.
Yeah, which is awesome. You know, I just invested $16 into this microphone stand to keep our thing a little simpler. We're trying to keep a minimal budget, but produce like the best content possible. So if you guys have anything that you can donate, like equipment or anything like that, we're all ears. We're definitely interested. And any type of interesting trade as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the whole life and work, and now that you are, coaching and mentoring entrepreneurs, like where do you see yourself? Because obviously, a year ago, you probably didn't even expect what your life would be like right now.
Yeah, that wasn't on your.
That was not a
radar at
plan.
all, right?
That was not part of the
whole
plan.
thing with Joey.
No, not with Joey. Helping people has always been on the plan. Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah. So,
again, a pretty common recurring theme.
Yeah. So I started journaling
entrepreneurs.
probably about a year and a half ago. And, I don't journal too regularly, but just looking back and rereading everything that was a common theme that, there was helping people in there. But, with Joey, the way that came about was, I cleared up some headspace. So as I said, I had a lot of shit floating around up here because when you're planning on leaving your job, there's a lot of stuff flowing through here, and you're trying to figure out, do I go this route? You jump over here, you try this. Oh shit, I should learn this just in case that doesn't work. So I had a lot going on.
What was your biggest fear, like leaving your job? The steady pay, and you had a young family. Like, what was it?
Yeah.
Yes and yes and yes.
Yeah.
All of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm giving up that security and the steady paycheck and everything. Before I left, we had money flowing from our real estate. My wife worked a full-time job, and I worked a full-time job. So there was never really any issues. We'd vacation, and money would just be there, and money would go up.
Yeah. That's a nice feeling.
It was just easy. We didn't really have to track much.
Yeah.
So now
you're doing well in the financial side, but personal fulfillment and happiness.
Yeah, fulfillment was
just
a really, really big thing for me in leaving there. I wasn't getting it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have the long meetings at work, and you come out, and you're like, what the heck just
hell?
happened?
What did that accomplish?
I will never get those 3 hours back. It's almost like I went in rewind.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of talk at work and not a lot getting done. Versus in my real estate, I'll buy a house and do some work on it. And, I heard Ian talk about when you see the finished product, you just step back and you're like, I did that.
Yeah.
I took that from that. I took a piece of shit that no one wanted, and you convert it into something really nice that someone's willing to pay a premium for.
And someone's going to be proud to live in.
Yes. And you're reminded of it every time you see it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Versus work, at the end of the day, you're like, I was here for 8 hours.
What the hell have I done?
Contributed about half an hour.
Hey, dude, that's my tax money that's paying for your salary.
Your tax money?
Yeah.
You didn't hear that.
It's all the listeners' tax money.
It's the listeners' tax money.
Everyone's tax money. Shit.
Yeah. So
So what about?
with Joey, so the way shit worked out for there. So I cleared up a lot of the headspace. I layered back on some things that I was working on. I created the space up there to allow me to start listening again. And you can ask my wife. I wasn't a good, and I still, I'm still working on it. But the whole listening thing, it's.
What'd you say?
I'm making enough.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So, it came of our mastermind group. We started to do some brainstorming. Joey mentioned that, he was interested in doing some coaching. And I'm like, yeah, me too. And
that all started because of the blogs. You messaged all of us. You're like, hey, I want to start a blog, and I don't really know what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, we should chat. We should sit down.
And that was how the mastermind got started. I had my Student Giant blog. I wanted to start in more on the student stuff, and and to get the word out there. And
Oh, that's right. You were the one
so,
who sort of put it all
I was
together.
impressed
man.
with all of you guys. You know, what you do online, you guys as people, and then it started, and I don't even remember talking about the blog for the first however meetings.
I don't think we ever did. I don't think we ever did.
I
Yeah,
think he did, but it wasn't for a
it
long
was so
time.
secondary.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
Well, it's kind of funny. Like we set it up for. I don't know if it was like specifically you want to talk about that, but other you see like just other stuff.
Yeah.
Kept coming up, which was for everybody who was individually purposely there. You know,
Yeah.
their own other shit ended up sort of taking priority, which
Yeah.
was amazing. Like
Yeah.
you just finding out what other people are up to. You always sort of wonder.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's usually, I mean, we're always usually doing well on some of the fronts, you know? Maybe it's like, my health is really good, my money's really good, my relationships, like, are shit. Like, my personal fulfillment is crap. Or even, you know, I feel fulfilled, and I'm doing what I love, but I don't get paid anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's...
That's that balance.
I know, it's that,
Let's
it's
get
that
that wheel
wheel.
going.
It's that wheel.
Yeah, yeah. And another area on the wheel is rest and relaxation.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't even know what the heck that meant.
It's like, what is that, Japanese? Like,
Yeah.
Rest?
Yeah, I had no idea what that was. And me time, you know, I just
People laugh. People laugh when they hear that.
reflecting
Still,
back
like-
on that. I'm like,
Really, when you talk to people, people laugh at you when they hear that.
Not me, but
Oh,
like I
just
know, like
in
some
general.
people just don't get it. They're like, What do you mean?
Yeah.
Shut down.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't work on the weekends?
Yeah.
Kidding me?
I know. Yeah. And I remember when I first started doing that stuff. Like, I wouldn't even think about, like, maybe going to a movie on my own or going for a walk on my own or, you know, bike ride or just going by the water and just chilling and reading a book. I would never think of doing that. Now I look forward to that shit.
Yeah.
And every morning I do the walk and it's good. It's good. Like, it you give the brain a break. And then magically you're actually more creative after that.
Yeah.
You know, you're not overworking the brain all the time, so it needs a break too. Just like the body when you're working out, you know, it needs a little break.
Yeah. I think me time is like food and sleep. You know, to get through the day, you have to eat.
Yeah,
You have to sleep.
yeah,
You have to have that me time.
yeah,
And if you don't, it's gonna show up somewhere in your life.
yeah.
Whether it's you're stuffing it with food or drugs
chances
or
are
alcohol or
You're more than likely running
Gambling.
from something
yeah.
if you don't have that me time because you're afraid to think the shit through. You know, we all have shit that we need to deal with, but we bury it down because we don't want to bring it to the surface because it's painful. But if you
But I
put
think
the effort in-
I think admitting it is the hard part. It's like, oh man, if I admit that I have this eating problem, then
I
it's
gotta
just
do
gonna
something
it's
about
gonna open up everything else. It's like now, like I'm like it's just gonna, because I'm wrong here. Everywhere else in my life that's wrong is just gonna reveal itself as well.
You gotta have
And
to
you-
look at all
then
aspects.
you have to deal with it.
yeah, it's so easy just to leave it
Yeah,
buried and just
I know.
continue on with the normal life, but I can tell you it's worth it, and the rewards are remarkable. Yeah, so you know, in the job I was just steady. It was just no ups, no downs.
Flatline.
Exactly, and you know, even like you know, starting to head down.
To take a
But,
nosedive.
you know, as I was approaching my leave from work, I was doing this emotionally. Like I never felt like that ever. I'm like, shit, am I doing the right thing? Holy crap, what if this happens?
That's the change that's about to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. So it was fearful.
Yeah.
But up until probably like 2 weeks before I was about to leave, it was almost like it was done. I've accepted it. And
Yeah, cool.
It was just
The
was
best.
liberating. the feeling, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
That
went.
was-
Then you went to Disney World.
Right, exactly. So, you know, I fought the urge to pack in my days right after my leave. You know, I really did take a little bit of a break.
Slow down.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have all the stuff lined up, like really crazy stuff. So probably about a week after I stopped working, you know, I celebrated. We went to Disneyland with the family, and so that was pretty cool. It was a celebration, and I can't stress the celebrations enough. And it doesn't have to be the big things to celebrate. You don't have to celebrate, you know, the destination. Celebrate the
journey.
incremental steps, the journey along the way.
Yeah.
Because if you focus on that and you never get that, you know, you're never going to celebrate. And the celebrating, like it's a motivator to continue on, right? So it's incremental steps to get there. So
Celebrate the small wins.
Yeah, it's a piece of advice I can give. So
Excellent.
yeah. So
Excellent.
cool.
So how's Tiff been? How are you guys doing now?
Well,
How's
first of all, how did she react to leaving the job and
Yeah.
all of that?
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about the wheel, right?
Because the relationship is huge.
So with real estate early on, she was half supportive.
When you started buying.
Yeah, we have money, so just go out and do it. Right? She had some doubts about it just because we just haven't done it before.
New and
yeah. So as we started to do it for a bit, she started to get a little more confidence. Oh shit, I think he knows what he's doing and this and that, right? So there were ups and downs with that. There were a couple of investments that didn't go as planned. This is where I deviated from my system.
Mm-hmm.
I just got cocky. I could do no wrong because
you cocky.
Yeah, I know.
Come on. As soon as he leaves his job, he's the freaking king of the world.
Yeah. So no, it was before then, but.
Before that.
Yeah,
Okay.
So it's buying condos in Cambridge and investing in forex shit, and
I didn't even know that.
yeah. So that
Some of the failures.
Yeah. Fortunately, I haven't had many, and
they weren't big or anything like that.
The profits from the other one more than outweighed those ones, but yeah, there were some ups and downs with the relationship and the late nights, and I just kept reminding her that there's an end in sight and all this and this and this, and again I was always focused on the future, and I wasn't really listening. She's talking and I just wasn't really taking it all in. So so there were some ups and downs with that, but as my wheels started to go down in different areas with my physical surroundings and my profession and things like that. It was affecting other areas, and I we had conversations around that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Well, screw it then, just leave." And it kind of made me step back. I'm like, "Seriously? Oh shit! I can't hide behind the fact that my wife doesn't support me anymore. It's like, oh shit! I might have to do something about it." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So now I need to figure out stuff how I can make it work. So then I started to put a plan in place, and I went about doing it. But things have been a lot better with the relationship since I've left the job. Obviously, because I'm listening more, I'm more present, and I'm not going to bed at 2 a.m. anymore. Mm-hmm. So I help out with the kids more, and I'm present, and so things are going really well.
Sounds like the big thing is presence, just being there.
Yeah. And you think
like physically and mentally.
Yeah. The physical part is relatively easy to be there, but the mental, you don't
That's
really catch yourself
checking out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
is the game on, or is
I'm a lot more aware of my thoughts and what I'm doing now than I was before. Yeah. So exciting stuff going on with Tiff as well. She's
So where's she at in all of this? Because I mean, we go through this. In the conversations that we've had on the show is. You're seeking a lot of this personal development, and you're all this change, and you're a lot of these life altering types of decisions, and you have a partner as well. Like, how does that work?
So I used to push myself a lot on people, and mostly my wife. Mm-hmm. I'm doing this stuff. You should do it. Why don't you do this? Go do it. Like I remember registering for things. And I was just kind of forcing her along. Like remember it was PIC. Yeah. So I'm like, we should be regional leaders in this area, and I was just totally forcing it, and just looking back on it, I'm like, I can't believe I forced her into some of these things. Like I remember going like a financial forum, and we both went there, and we were trying to sell PIC, and like this was a real estate group, and I can't believe some of that stuff. So one of my mentors, Philip McKernan, he's like, stop pushing yourself, just lead by example, and they'll see what you're doing, and they'll either follow or they don't follow, and just that's how it is. Mm-hmm. So, and that's how I've been with a lot of other things too. Like I always used to push health and wellness, and I still try to do that, but I'm working on stepping back and just leading by example. I used to push real estate and this and this and this on people.
You should try investing in real estate.
Yeah.
This is what you got to do. You got to invest and make passive income so it replaces your job and your living expenses. This is what you have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've done it.
Sounds familiar.
And you should start working out every day and have some me time. Seriously.
Yeah.
You should seriously consider it.
Yeah,
It'll
that's
make
a
your life
recording.
better.
Exactly. That's exactly what I did. So
Oh, man.
I still catch myself doing it, but not as much as I used to.
Yeah.
And,
Because it's so tempting. It's like you've seen such great results and you're ecstatic and happy about it.
you just want that.
But what happens is, this is what I believe, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but the people who are on the outside seeing it, let's say I'm a guy at work, I'm at the office, I'm just like this, and I'm hunched over on the computer and depressed and smoking all day. And then you come in and you're like, it's like, hey guys, I just came from a run this morning. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I just closed a joint venture property and I'm feeling great today and my relationship's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just like, oh,
It's
my
one
life
extreme to
is
another.
my life is so,
Yeah.
they feel so wrong
Yeah.
because you're so
Yeah.
authentic and you're
Yeah.
happy and
And another thing.
it
that,
just
like,
highlights their unhappiness.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing, they're not ready to listen yet. Just like I wasn't
They're
ready
not there.
to listen to maybe like the coaching opportunity like 2 years ago. Right? So they're so into their computer and they're so busy with stuff, they just see the lips moving, but it's not registering.
It's not you know what? It's not their priority. I think in everyone's life it's a priority to have, to be fulfilled and to be happy, but it's just not at the top. At the top maybe it's just like, I just need to get through this day.
Yeah.
I just need to freaking shut my mind off so it's the weekend.
But unfortunately, that's the same every day.
Yeah.
And they never break out of that because
Yeah.
they think that
They
that's
get
life.
so ingrained.
Yeah.
And maybe that is their life. They accept it, which is cool.
Which is completely fine, but
that's
it's just,
what you choose.
Yeah.
Yeah. But communication between Tiffany and I, it just has improved significantly. Like we talk more about things. We actively plan together. We talk about what we want to do with our lives, and it's a lot more conversation around what we want to do in our future, which is pretty
you're
exciting.
building something.
Yeah,
Like you're building
a
future.
Another exciting thing is she's actually taking a break from her job.
Is she?
At the end of June?
Excellent. So that's
Congratulations.
Yeah.
it's set.
Yeah,
That is wicked.
Awesome.
for 4 months. So that'll be
my
in the summer.
God.
So again, I'm not pushing anything. I'm like, what you want,
She came to it on her own.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
She had some things come up at her work, and it just helped accelerate her decision.
Well, you know what?
Well,
it's that time for her.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And her career sort of lends to that.
Yeah.
Right? Like where her career is really sort of on the depressing side.
Yeah.
She sort of sees the worst of
Exactly.
people.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's wow.
She's in social work and she works
Yeah,
with kids
so it's kind of that's a rough environment to be
so
in.
she's been doing that for 10 years, and you can imagine
You're exposed to a lot
how
of
draining
sad stories.
that can be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can try your best to distance yourself from it, but it's only a matter of time before you get a really bad case, and it hits home, and it hits home.
I totally
lot more
feel for
when you
people
have
like that.
When
two
you have
young kids
two,
yourself.
Yeah, and 2 young girls too.
Yeah.
Especially.
I can't imagine like cutting off my emotional side to anything that I'm doing. Like if you're a doctor or a nurse or you're a caseworker and to disconnect yourself completely, I don't think that's possible at all. Or you're just freaking cold.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
tough.
There's a little bit that you'll always take home with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough in those sort of positions, right?
Yeah.
Like caseworkers, social workers, paramedics,
Yeah.
or
they see
ER
some
doctors. Like
horrible
you're going to
stuff.
see some horrible shit
Yeah.
that you can't. But yeah, you're going to have to try to disconnect yourself. But it's how can you completely 100% disconnect? You're
You
gonna.
can't. You're gonna be.
Yeah,
You're gonna
that
be
stuff's
hanging on
always
to
I
gonna
think
be
I think
there.
it screws you up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it has to, man.
Yeah.
And it's just normal. That's part of it. Not like it's wrong or anything. It's like that's what
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's part of the job, right?
Yeah.
If you're like you said, you're there for 8-9 hours a day, exposed to like acid environments, like negative, sad, depressing environments, and
Oh, yeah.
people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what can you do?
How
but-
could that not influence
yeah,
you?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's gonna experience what
Good for her,
some me
man.
time now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good
That's
for
awesome.
her.
And
It'll get
so
her
does
some
she
time.
have a plan for those 4 months? I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of me
She's got her
time.
list of things that she'd like to do.
Bucket
I just remind her, this is, you do with it what you want to do with
Yeah.
it. And like again, like I had my little list, after I was done, and I didn't force myself into like this big project, and that's what she's doing. We just bought some new patio furniture, so she's like, yeah, this is where I'm going to spend some time. She's going to chill out in the back, and I'm sure it'll get old at some point, but whatever. If it doesn't, then you're giving this a break.
Yeah.
That's the big thing for at least 8 or 9 hours a day.
That's awesome.
So there won't be the rushing around to drop off the kids in the morning and rushing to get to here and there, and it's pretty cool not to have to rush around.
Awesome.
So I'm really excited for her.
So I guess we'll be coming down to St. Catharines sometime
Yeah, we can come out
after
here.
June.
Yeah.
Or you guys can come up here, yeah?
That's a lot of change in 24 months. I have to commend you for that.
Yeah.
Like, that's 2 years. You quit your full-time job of over a decade. You completely start to rely on your portfolio, which is almost everyone's dream who buys their first property. They can only imagine what it would be like to live off their portfolio income.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then now you have your wife who's following suit. Who is, gonna just find herself now and explore that me time. Like, are you kidding me? That is so wicked, man.
Yeah. Definitely
That's
embody the
so
idea of the holistic entrepreneur.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, like, it's good to hear that, like, because it's pretty common for people not to take a step back and reflect on where you've come from. Like, because we're so busy on the next step.
Yeah.
Rarely do people just stop and reflect back on, oh, shit, I actually did pretty good.
And that's why it's important to journal, man.
I know.
Like, because you document it, and it's like, oh, wow, like, just a year ago, this is what I was thinking about, this is what I was feeling, this is what was important to me.
Yeah.
And you could really have a real contrast.
Yeah.
It's you're tracking your progress.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that, with you guys, I see you guys doing it, and you give me some great suggestions, and I'm doing a lot more of that. I track my P90X workouts, you see your progress. I'm tracking my well-being. The things are important to me. So, it's a direct correlation with, a good, you're getting to the things on your well-being checklist with your energy levels and your happiness, right? So you could see, okay, well, I haven't done these things on my well-being checklist. It's no wonder that I feel like shit here.
Yeah.
So
I'm tired. I haven't
yeah.
been listening. I haven't been spending time with the kids.
Yeah.
And
So it's
lacking
easy
here,
to kind
lacking
of
there.
let go of things, but when you look back at your list, you're like,
Okay.
something might be up here.
This
So,
is why.
yeah. So it's pretty cool. So I've been doing the well-being checklist that you shared with me for probably at least 2.5 months now.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I appreciate that.
I'm in my 9th month of tracking my well-being.
Yeah?
That's nuts,
Wow.
man. That's a
Yeah.
long time.
9 months already.
There's a lot of data there.
Yeah.
You could find out a lot about somebody
Yeah.
just looking at their well-being checklist.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know what a well-being checklist is, it's just a list of 10 things that you do every single day to feel like you've had your best day of well-being. So whether it's taking a walk in the morning, waking up at a certain time, drinking enough water, a specific diet, having a workout, whatever it is that makes you feel good. If you want to meditate, or for me, like I put music in there.
Yeah.
Just make sure you try and fill your day up and get a lot of that stuff done. For me, 50% of it is done in the morning.
Yeah.
Like
me
first
too.
thing in the morning.
Yeah.
50%. And like you have such a huge advantage. You're just like, wow,
Good day to start. Good way to start the day.
Yeah, totally.
With that momentum and, positivity and things like that. So it makes for a good day.
And what's your average right now? What was your average last week? I think you told me 74 or something like that.
I think it was over 80.
Last
Wow.
week was over 80?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
It was a big week.
That's amazing.
That's
Yeah. It feels
ridiculous.
so good. I mean, like because I've actually got more than 10 things on the list.
What do you think? Okay. Because the way I understand it from my own stuff is that 20% that you have, what do you think? What's in that 20% for you? Like, what is not there in your life right now that you still need to like increase or get to?
Meaning the ones that I usually miss?
No, it's almost like here is what you want to do to, well, this is like a certain level of success or a certain level of achievement in your business, in your life. and in your well-being checklist, you're achieving your average of 80% of it.
Yeah.
What do you think would happen if you had like 100% week? Like if your week was 100%.
Yeah, you just imagine. Like I just feel that much better. Like I feel really, really good now, and it would just.
And how do you like
the exponential growth would even be?
It'll
greater.
impact everything else, I think.
Yeah, it would attract more opportunities. It would attract greater people to me. Mm-hmm. Just by the energy, right?
Yeah.
So it's obviously something that you want to strive for, right? Because when I first started doing it, I remember my first week was like 54%.
Average,
holy shit, I'm
you don't even
I'm telling myself that I want to feel better and have more energy, yet I'm committing only 54%. That's bullshit.
Yeah, you're
So
only
then
you're half in.
putting a little more attention to it, and I jumped up to like mid 70s within a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then I started adding a couple more things to the list. And
how many do you have? How many items?
I'm at 15 now.
Oh,
Wow.
what? That's huge, man. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I keep it at 10.
Yeah. But
That's
it's not overwhelming. Some
Yeah.
of the things are just they're relatively quick things.
The next level of that actually is the leadership checklist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
did you do that? You have.
well, no, it's just the same thing, right? You just have another checklist. When your well-being habits are already established and you're already doing it on a regular basis, you can graduate to the leadership checklist, which is, stuff that you have to do to be a leader, living by example. Mm-hmm. It could be like, today, like writing something new to talk about, or making sure that I talk to this many people, or whatever it is, like that has to do with your business and your job in impacting the world.
Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to as well. I don't know how long. I mean, for me, like it's 9 months, and I still feel like I haven't gotten to the point where I feel happy and consistent with my well-being checklist, because it stayed pretty the same the whole time. But I want to have like 100% weeks.
Yeah. Do you track your well-being?
I don't.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Pretty good exercise.
So if you're just listening, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Meridius Radio live on Ustream. We're here with Mike Gillespie. We're talking about the well-being checklist. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channels, youtube.com/meridiusmedia and youtube.com/the holistic entrepreneur. And that is where you'll find all the highlights. All the full episodes will be on the Meridius Media channel. And because I promised everybody that we're going to announce the book contest winner, if you don't mind. The book was donated by Ian Szabo, called From Rentals to Riches.
Last week.
All about the mindset, the philosophy of flipping properties. And he was kind enough to donate it, a signed copy. And all I did was ask 3 questions. So number one, subscribe to our channel. Number 2, what did you learn from the show with Ian Szabo? And number 3, what are you going to do about it? And I had that up for a whole week. And I put it up every day on my Facebook. And no one did anything. Honestly, I don't know why. It was 3 simple questions. I don't know why no one did. But one person did. And his name is David DiFrancesca. A good friend of mine, actually.
Yeah.
Congratulations, buddy. That book is yours, man. You're the only one who took action. You put a one-liner answer comment on the YouTube video page, and the book is yours. So if that's you out there listening, and you saw the episode and you saw the book contest video, and you didn't enter your information and you didn't comment on the video like David DiFrancesca did, he was the only one there. Your odds of winning were enormous. You could have just put it up there and you would have got the book. So I commend you for taking action and for doing it. That book is yours. Next time I see you, I will hand that book over to you, and you could do what you want with it. Read it, consume it, and let us know what your progress is if you guys plan on to moving forward with flipping properties. So congratulations, guys.
Yeah, that looks like a really good read.
I know.
We'll have to get in touch with Ian to get us a couple copies. Ian, hook us up with a couple more copies, buddy.
Have you done flips before at all, or?
No, that was one of those shiny objects. We talked about it a bunch of times, and we never officially did one. We did some renos to the properties that we do have, but none with expectation of flipping. I've always had an interest in it, and Tiffany and I, we've actually had some chats recently about potentially doing them. More so, her
Very
running
attractive
the show.
to flip, yeah.
She doesn't give herself enough credit. Like, she's actually really, really talented with home staging, but she does that with our student rentals, and she does amazing work on the limited budget that I give her. But yeah, I think.
Did you say unlimited budget?
Limited, very limited budget.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So, we haven't done it yet, but we could.
Yeah. It's
Nice.
one of those
Very
things that you one day
Yeah.
try it out.
Yeah. How about you guys? Any
We're looking to do
flips?
one
Well, we're keeping an eye out on potential projects.
potential one.
Yeah.
Sort of putting the intention out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll attract it
Yeah. That's
when
cool.
it comes.
Yeah.
So now, okay, so we've been talking about you this whole time, about your growth and your changes and the things that you've overcome and stuff like that. Now you're a coach. So what's that like? You're like coaching yourself almost. These people were or are you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they're going
Yeah.
through the same type of
Yeah.
stuff.
And that's what's cool about this. Joey and I, we're just maybe one step ahead of other people, and maybe not even one step. Like, we're just like a sounding board. But it's we just did what they're trying to do. So we're right there, and we know the challenges that they're going through. They're some of our clients. They're trying to follow a similar path as I did. Leaving the job and doing such and such full time. So I know what they're going through, and I know the emotional roller coaster that they're going through. So I can really relate on that level.
Yeah.
And it's cool to learn about the challenges that they're going through and to help them through that and things like that. So it's cool. Yeah, Joey and I we're a good mix. We're definitely not the same person. He brings a lifetime of entrepreneurial experience,
business sense.
Yeah.
A whole lot of business.
And I bring
Get her done mentality.
coming from the corporate world, and managing a portfolio at the same time, and leaving. So we both have systems with our real estate business that we can share, and then on the other side, I help with some of the life balance stuff, the personal side, and so it's not just real estate stuff. Usually it starts with real estate business stuff, and
That's what they think they
yeah,
need or
and
they want.
more often than not, it comes back to something personal that's holding them back from making decisions and pushing forward towards their goals. So it's interesting. And then it's starting to get into some health stuff now.
Wow.
So I'm really excited about that.
That's
'cause
awesome.
that's-
That's along your alley now.
Yeah, I've really woken up to
The benefits of
the wellness.
yeah.
Because the time, we help our clients a lot with time management and all these things, but it's good to free up time and be more efficient with your day, but it's also good to increase your energy level.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of having time if you have no energy to do anything?
You're just
So-
slugging around.
Exactly. So I said that I was up to 2 a.m. Well, that's nice, but do I really have any energy? Am I really focusing on anything?
I don't want to know what people are doing at 2 a.m. on their computers.
Well, that's like a big that TED Talk, that TED interview with Richard Branson, and they were asking
What did
him
he
what's. Did you watch the talk
With Richard Branson?
with Richard Branson?
That's where they're on the couch, right? They're
Yeah.
sitting- yeah.
Have you seen that TED
one.
Talk with Richard
No,
Branson?
no.
So they
He's
asked
cool.
him.
That guy's
He
awesome.
is. He's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So they asked him, "What's if you what's the one thing that you would do to get more time out of your day?" You remember that?
What did he say?
He said exercise.
Wow.
The one thing he does every single day to get more time out of his day, to get more out of his day, out of his life, is exercise. So he does
Yeah.
that every single day.
I love that.
Keeps him juiced.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's where he's creative. That's where he spends that time for himself, and
Yeah.
where he re-energizes,
Yeah.
shuts down, and that's
Yeah.
where he gets more time out of his day is
You
by
do.
exercising.
Exactly. Like I
Which
don't.
is kind of contradictory, right?
I personally don't need the 8 or 10 hours of sleep. I function on 6.5 hours. So if you get your body into shape, you get the mind into shape.
don't need as much sleep. Yeah.
sleep.
Very
so you're actually
true.
freeing up an extra 2 hours of your day.
Yeah.
2 good hours of your day because the mind is on board with making changes, and
And the time that you didn't have to hang out with your kids or read that book or pursue that hobby, there's your 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because you're healthy and working out.
Yeah.
So you invest that hour and a half into yourself, taking care of yourself, exercising, getting the heart rate going, and that could free up 2.5, 3 hours, 3 more hours.
What are you waiting for?
Out of your day. And it doesn't.
Get off
I mean,
your ass and do some jumping jacks.
Oh man.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be that long, right? I mean, P90X is
I know.
pretty
It's
set.
an hour,
but
yeah.
you're not always strictly doing P90X. I think you're doing runs as well.
Yeah,
Well, except when you're doing those sort of.
You're doing
saw
runs,
the
I got
18K
the runs.
I think you recently did what, an 18K?
I'm up to 21K now.
21.
Dude, that's a half marathon.
I know.
Jeez.
Holy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and this
that's
is a
sick.
good thing. You know, we talk about surrounding yourself with good people and that challenge you. So I'm like, okay, so I can run this amount. So I'm telling people this, and I'm like, okay, well, I might as well just do a half marathon because I can already run it. And Andrew McDonald, he's like, hey, this is another guy he's done some running and he's done a marathon. He's like, why would you do a half? You can already do a half. Why not push yourself to do a full?
Yeah.
He said he committed to doing a full marathon, and he couldn't even run 5 kilometers.
Before.
Yeah.
Wow.
So who was that? I'm like, really? And then he trained for not even a whole lot,
Yeah.
and he ran a full freaking marathon. So
That's cool.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So
Oh my god.
So is that one of the bucket lists coming up? Half marathon, full marathon?
I'm gonna go right to a full.
You're gonna go to the full?
Yeah. I
Wicked.
think.
Talk about just setting goals and
Yeah, there you go. I just threw it out there. I'm doing a full marathon. Excuse me.
Don't know when.
No, I think it's September.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Good
a
time to
full
do it.
marathon in Niagara Falls, so it's a scenic run too.
Oh, that would be
Oh,
beautiful.
that sounds gorgeous.
So they had the around
Right
the
by the
bay.
water?
They ran the bay in Hamilton. It's in between a half and a full marathon. I didn't do that one, but I hear it's not scenic. You know, you're running downtown for a good amount of it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's
Yeah, you're like me,
think
man. I like
it's-
running in trail. I like running
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
in the trees.
Yeah,
I think it's because
I
the
prefer that
oxygen
too.
too,
yeah,
and the environment's just like nice and scenic.
yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So yeah,
Nice.
the workout stuff. You know, it took me a bit to get into that rhythm. You know, like that exercise, and this is probably pretty common. Is the thing that usually gets pushed off. You know, you'll get a phone call and you're like, sure, I can do it, and then kind of cross off your exercise and
Yeah.
you go do the other thing.
That happened
Now
to me this
I've-
morning.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna do.
You
But I'm-
wrote it off.
I
Yeah.
wrote it off this morning. He just had a lot of stuff to do. But I'm gonna see because my exercise routine is I'm sort of doing MED. I just want minimum effective dose. So I'm just trying to minimize what's the minimum amount I can do to get the maximum effect. So
yeah,
before I go to sleep tonight, I'm gonna do my kettlebells.
yeah. And do you find it hard to get to sleep after that? Like, does that wake your body up?
I don't really ever.
For me,
have-
it does.
Yeah, for me
Yeah,
too.
any type of
not
workout gives me energy.
Yeah. I guess it's different for everybody, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really find it too difficult to fall asleep.
Cool. How long is the workout?
This one will take me like 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Quick kettlebell. I'll do Tabata kettlebells and then some kettlebell ab exercises and then maybe some Bosu.
What's this thing you're talking? What's Tabata?
Tabata, so it's a 4-minute workout routine where you go 20 seconds of exercise, 10 seconds rest, 8
Okay.
cycles.
Yeah.
So I'll just do that quick.
Yeah.
So just like a quick interval.
yeah, quick
For 4
interval.
minutes, right?
4 minutes.
4 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll do kettlebell swings for
Yeah.
the Tabata for 4 minutes, and then I'll do with the kettlebells. I'll do some kettlebell ab exercises.
Yeah.
So just some just ab exercises, and then I'll probably do some ab exercises off the Bosu.
Gotta have more.
Dude, we
kettlebell.
gotta do Storm the 10, man.
What's
I
that?
don't want to do Storm 10. We should do
What's
What's
that?
wrong with
Spartan
Storm the 10?
race.
A what?
Because remember, Storm 10 was that race that we did last year.
Oh yeah.
So it was.
It's because there's too many people.
What happened?
Imagine
You
it was
get-
just
you
imagine
get
it was
injured or
just 3 of
something?
us.
Oh yeah. Oh, but
I
then
didn't
we,
get injured. Imagine it was
No.
3 of us and you just go one at a time.
we'd each go like 3 times.
Yeah. That's huge.
The only thing about Storm 10, so Storm 10, it was a 10-hour race that we did last year, and we did it in a
You guys
group.
did a relay.
And
Yeah.
so it was, I can't remember the distances.
9 kilometers mountain biking,
9K bout,
2 kilometers
2K
trail running,
yeah, and then a 1K.
1 kilometer paddling,
Yeah.
kayaking.
You split into 3.
Each
or?
lap.
Each lap is.
Oh, yeah.
So, there were 6 of us, so Oliver and I were partners one time. So we would do the 9K bike, and then you do the 2K run. And we did it in Milton, right?
Yeah.
So
Kelso Park.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we did, the 9K bike was going up the hill,
Yeah.
and then you get to the top of the hill, and you would do a 2K run in the trees, and then you go bike
hard,
back
dude.
down.
I heard Kelso's pretty cool. I've never been there before.
It's
we
really
should,
nice.
We should do one
It's
of our
freaking
bike.
it's rocky.
We should.
Yeah.
The trails are like this big. You know how Dundas, like the trails are like as big as this table. Like it's wide. Like you can
Yeah.
ride around. Kelso,
Kelso,
a lot
it's
of
like
the
a real
a lot of them like the
bike
trails are
trail.
like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trails are like this.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's hardcore.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's like a real bike trail.
Yeah.
Where in Dundas, it's more just like a trail. I mean, like
Yeah,
horses and
people
stuff.
walk it,
and
yeah.
People are walking. it.
Horses, yeah, you see the horse
Yeah.
shit everywhere.
So you would do the 9K bike, you would do the 2K run, and then a 1K paddle on a
Yeah.
kayak.
Yeah.
And then so we would rest, and then the next 2 guys would go, and then 2 more other guys would go, and then we would be up again.
Yeah.
So it's like almost 2 hours in between before you would actually have to go again.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about that is like that's 10 hours. It's a whole day. Where if we do something like, because I think you wanted to do
Yeah.
Spartan.
Yeah. I actually
race?
just registered
Or-
for one. Niagara has one. They
yeah.
just started one.
What is it?
It's called Grapes of Wrath. I just registered last week. It's for cancer, so I'll be
Awesome.
sending around a link for some donations. But
Grapes
Yeah, it's-
of Wrath.
Grapes
Okay,
of
what
Wrath.
is
So
that?
they have a grape and wine festival
Oh.
every year, and usually it's a pretty big event in Niagara. And one year I did a bike race. This was an example of I'm like, fuck it, let's just do it.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty long bike ride along trails. I think maybe it was like 30K, or it was pretty long. And I just started riding again trails that year, and I'd only been out probably the year.
Yeah.
Like we
Okay.
started a bit. Yeah. So I did it, and I'm like, no, that's pretty cool. That was all right. It took a little bit to get through it, but it was
Yeah.
pretty cool. But they've started this one of those, and it's similar to all the other ones, the Spartan race and things
Yeah.
like that. So the hardcore, the mud and
Yeah.
carrying
That's
all the stuff.
cool.
So I'm gonna do one. So
Wicked.
yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, so the Spartan race or like Warrior Dash, it'll only be like an hour and a half sort
Maybe.
of run. Maybe like a
See, I like
5.
those, but I like the long ones too, man.
Well, there's
So
the 10
on
mile
June-
one, the Tough
Dude,
Mudder.
I heard there's another
Yeah,
one
it's
on June the 23rd in Toronto, and it's almost like it's like a all day. It's like a 10-hour scavenger. It's almost like a scavenger.
Oh, like a
hunt
scavenger hunt. Yeah.
around the city. So
pretty
like,
cool.
like
Like
they
an
give you all the
amazing
clues.
race
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like an amazing race.
Yeah.
And someone at the yoga
That sounds
studio
like
is doing
fun.
it. I'm just like, shit. I think we should sign up, man. It sounds.
I think that
sounds
would be
so
pretty fun.
sick.
Yeah.
Because it's not like all working out. It's not like running and
Yeah.
doing stuff like that. It's like you're going and you have to find stuff, and it's like
Yeah.
a game.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
That is pretty
Just
interesting.
look
Yeah.
into it.
Sounds
See what
like
the data
fun.
is if we're.
Yeah, I'll ask
bringing-
him. I'll ask him for the info.
If is it like a team of 2 or a couple people?
Yeah, I think there's teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you guys be interested in that?
I'd be
Yeah,
interested
that would
in
be
that.
really
That would
cool.
be freaking wicked.
I know. We never did. What was the one that you wanted to do? Was that Spartan Race or Tough Mudder? I
Tough
can't remember.
Mudder.
We were
Tough
talking
Mudder.
about trying to
Tough
get a
Mudder.
team
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
It never ended
Think
up happening.
signed up for Tough Mudder, right, Ian?
Yeah, I
Ian
saw him
Zabo
post
did.
something,
You
yeah.
did, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
He said he's got a group of like
All
triathletes and
serious
all these
athletes.
serious guys.
Well, that's a 10-mile one.
Is that
in
yeah?
extreme stuff. 5K is actually relatively tough too.
I'll do.
But this is
I'd rather
10
do the
mile.
5K.
Is the Tough Mudder 10
of-
mile?
10 mile.
That's intense.
Yeah.
But that one
That's
too
intense.
is
That's
the
hills
Tough Mudder.
and-
It's a team like so you have to start with the team of he's doing
Which
a
is
team of
cool.
12 and you got to
That's
go
what
through
it
the
is, eh?
whole thing with
Yeah.
the team of 12. Like you got to finish with the whole team.
That's cool.
Dude, I just saw my cousin from San Francisco. He just put a picture on Facebook. It's like this is my Iron Man suit. I'm like, dude, you're freaking.
Really? He's
Yeah, I'm
doing
like, you're
Iron
gonna do the Iron Man? He's like, yeah, I'm
That's
doing the
cool.
Iron Man. He's like, and I'm training for MMA. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
That is sick.
Yeah.
That
That's
is so freaking
So
cool.
Iron Man, what is that? That's
Iron
that's
Man-
the triathlon.
Yeah.
Iron Man
Iron
is a
Man, the full
long
triathlon.
freaking. It's a
Yeah.
long freaking one. I think it's how many kilometers is it? It's like
Oh, I don't know. The
It's
swim
huge.
is.
the
I don't
the
know.
swim is like a kilometer swim, isn't it?
It's
I think
probably
it's
a lot
longer than that.
Or the 2 kilometers.
It's
It's-
long.
it's-
It's not like super long, but it's a long swim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the bike ride's like 40 kilometers or
Yeah.
something. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
There's a Ironman, which is this is like the official full ass triathlon that is like
Yeah.
if you get the Ironman, like you are the shit.
Yeah.
But then you know what? There's old people doing it.
Yeah.
You know, because you got to do it before a certain amount of time.
Yeah, it's the time.
I think it's like before 13 or 15 hours, something like that. Then you get the official Ironman. You get
Yeah.
the shirt and you're
Yeah.
an Ironman. But yeah, there's triathlons where you swim,
Yeah.
then you run and you bike.
Yeah.
swim, bike, run.
Or swim, bike, run.
Yeah.
The
That's
Iron Man is just a longer one. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's really long.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's all it is. It's
Yeah.
just a huge one, and they do it all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to work towards doing one of those.
Well, because
Would you? Why don't you do it then?
the full Ironman.
I'm not a good
the
swimmer.
actual-
I want to train some swimming games.
Yeah, swimming is a big one.
Yeah.
In the actual Ironman, the run portion is a full marathon.
Oh yeah, that's right. So
Right?
you're
So that's a full.
on top of everything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
It's a full 42K run,
Oh.
and then before that you've got a I don't know like 90 something 100K
the
bike,
is
and
pretty
then
long.
Yeah.
however many five.
And you're on a bike like
30Ks,
this. You're on a
and-
bike like this, and you're pedaling. Imagine you're pedaling, and then you go on the ground and you're running.
and then you're running.
Yeah.
And your feet have been so used to the cadence, the rhythm of the pedaling, and
Yeah.
that's weird, man.
Yeah. Well, it's a
That
whole.
screws up
I
your
mean, it's a
body.
whole technique where your cadence on the bike should be the same cadence as your running cadence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if whatever it's 90 cycles per
But
minute.
there
you should
are
do 90
people who
cycles per-
train like full
It's
time,
crazy.
I know.
full time.
Yeah.
For
Oh, yeah.
Ironman. That's crazy. Imagine your job was like 8 hours a day to train and eat like crazy,
Yeah.
and have you have a bunch of coaches for different things.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're an Olympic athlete, that's what you do, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
your job is to
You're
train.
a fighter. Yeah, that's
Or a
awesome.
fighter.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Train to fight.
How old was your cousin? You said?
Yeah, he's 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, from San Francisco.
Is that kind of old to get into MMA now, or
No,
is that
I think
kind of a good age?
you can get into MMA whenever.
Yeah.
Really, doesn't matter. And Ironman,
Awesome.
people are in their prime when they're 50.
I
Yeah.
love that.
That's your prime. Your prime, like 50, 60 years old.
What was
For some reason the cardio was
Who's
just
the guy
there.
who ran a marathon in Toronto? What was he? 80 or something? He was.
Oh, I think I
pretty
heard about
old
that
dude.
recently. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember
love
seeing
that.
that on
Holy
Facebook.
crap, man!
People, you know, they
There's somebody who posted that on Facebook.
Dude, okay, so there's a guy
somebody
who
really
just
old.
did it. He was 80 years old who just did
full
a
marathon.
a
full
marathon.
marathon.
Toronto.
80 years old in Toronto. And at the restaurant, John was saying there's like a 29 and 30-year-old that came into the restaurant, and he was like serving him, Filipino food, like freaking, it's not healthy food.
Yeah,
And they're like, yeah, man, like, I just came from the doctors and I have freaking high blood pressure. I have like 210 over like 100.
25, 30 years old.
29, 30 years old.
Oh, 29, 30.
Dude, and he's like, they look just like, he's like, they look like normal guys, but they have like serious heart problems because of like their diet, and they're just completely unhealthy. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
your body is running like worse, like at 20% the capacity of that 80-year-old guy.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And that's a good example of, don't use age as an excuse. You know, like, it's just up here. You age if you let yourself age.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some people think, I don't want to start a business. I'm already, X amount of years old.
Yeah.
I don't want to start,
I
getting
should've-
fit.
Yeah.
Like, it's too late for me.
Yeah.
This is how I am. Just
Yeah.
as,
You're young. You have all this energy. Yeah.
just accept me. You gotta just love me.
I hate that. This is how I am. This is me.
This is
Yeah.
me. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
This
they
is not
settle.
you.
They settle.
I know.
Yeah. And
I hate
yeah,
that.
I'm not a fan of that either. Yeah. And I
It's your
don't.
choice, man. You choose the way you are. You can
Yeah.
always make a change.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what? There's like a 20-pound, like 20 pounds is like a magic number for a lot of people. 20 pounds, and they go from I think the rate is 3 points. Like, if you have like a superficial scale of 1 to 10 of someone's looks, 20 pounds like less is a matter of 3 points. A girl or a guy could be a 7 out of 10. And then be a 9 out of 10 after they lose 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
You know what I
And vi-
mean?
yeah.
You could
So
be a
yeah.
9 out of 10 right now. You gain 20 pounds. You're 7 out of 10. I think I heard that from Joe Rogan, actually. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. From the Joe Rogan podcast. That is hilarious, man.
What did you trim down? You were.
I was so my peak was 2004 or 2004 2005. I was in university, and this was like late nights and like drinking and eating a lot and like going to Krispy Kreme, and like 4 of us, we would all buy a box each.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
And we would just go.
Imagine that. That's
We were just for
disgusting.
some.
looking at it now. You're like,
It was just
seriously.
Yeah, it was just stupid, right?
Yeah.
And we would go to McDonald's and always have like super size me, man, and just like it was just one of those things where we just would eat so much food, right? And then eventually it just got so big, and I didn't know that I was getting big because I was still going to the gym and I was like lifting weights, and I was pretty big.
Yeah.
I was 196 pounds at the highest. I must have went over 200, and I didn't know it.
Yeah.
But I was like 196 when the highest that I checked. And then one day, I just saw some pictures of myself on a vacation, and I'm like, that's me. That's me? And like, for some reason, I never noticed that for so long, like how overweight I was.
Yeah.
And then eventually I was just like, holy shit, I gotta change, man.
Yeah.
And then I just started reading a lot of different books. It first started with Anthony Robbins.
Yeah.
And it was like, start drinking green drinks, drinking tons of water, eat less processed food, more natural foods, and go for a walk every morning.
Yeah.
Then that walk turned into a jog. Then the jog turned into a run. Then it just spiraled into reading a ton more, like a ton of books about health and nutrition. And what I found that accelerated me the most was not even the knowledge on health and nutrition. It was a knowledge about myself.
Yeah.
The more I knew about myself, the more confident I was in what I was trying to do and where I was headed.
Yeah.
And the more motivated I got to eat healthy, to eat right. So, I mean, at my lowest point, like I was at 145, I think. That was my lowest. That was like 2009. I don't think I'd ever want to get to 145. I'm like 157 right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, from 196 and today I'm 157. So 60, 70, 80. Yeah, 40 pounds.
Oh, geez.
And you know how Ian Zabel is like, dude, carry the amount
pound,
that 40 pound vest and run with that. Like that's what you used to carry around. Like this. You know what I mean? Like I got 40 pounds like in my belly. But now I have like a 40 pound dumbbell at my house. And I'm like, holy shit, this is how much extra weight I was carrying around. That's nasty.
That's
shit.
incredible.
And that's how I went from a 70 to a 13. Because I went over 40 pounds.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's too much. That's too much. So has your weight changed since you've been working out?
I was
gaining some muscle.
My highest weight was like 210.
Really?
Yeah, that was
No.
Really? How tall are you?
But you're tall.
That was a weight. That was a
Are you
while
6
ago.
feet? Are you 6 feet or are you 5'11"?
I'm 6 feet. Yeah.
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 210. That's not that bad. 210 is not bad.
No, that was me. I was just working out. I had some muscle, a little tone, but I had some more fat, in areas. And just looking at past pictures, just the chubby cheeks and relationship stuff,
Yeah.
We did the Toonie Tuesdays at KFC.
Oh, that's
Toonie
dangerous
Tuesdays.
shit, dude.
Sara Lee cakes.
And
all
the
that
little
shit.
box that it comes in.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh man, I'd get like 2 of them and gravy. I was in Burger King the other day and just passing the time as I was getting some tires changed, and I was just in there just to get a water or something. And it's just like they had a poutine on there. I'm looking at that. I'm like, that used to be appetizing to me. I'm looking at the picture. I'm like, seriously? That looks good?
Yeah.
It's like you're
That used
talking
to
about
look
like the Krispy Kremes. You're like,
I
you
can't
look
even
at a box of that. Like it's just like a big thing of sugar.
Dude, I used to like demolish
Sugar
like
and
half a
dough.
box of that, like half, like even more.
And even like the KFC chicken. I'm like,
so
like it's
nasty.
just dripping with
It's
grease.
it's dripping with grease and it's like roided up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Chickens
So-
are like this. What
was-
chicken is like that?
like a headless chicken with like multiple limbs.
It was tubs of Rolo ice cream. We'd be just sitting there.
Oh,
It was
man.
back in the day. So I'm 167 now, and
Wow, that's great, man.
yeah.
Wow,
So,
167.
Yeah.
You know what's so
Good weight.
funny is like we seek pleasure in food. Like it's it's like you live to eat like good food, like and just to enjoy it. Whereas now it's like you eat to live.
Yeah.
You eat the food so that you can live
properly.
live
Yeah.
a good life.
Yeah. So
Cool,
I've
cool,
started
man.
to eat better. I mean, I over the last couple of years we don't eat poorly, but we're starting to get into the organics
Get a little
now.
bit more better,
and,
yeah.
You gave me some recommendations on some shakes to make.
Are you on the
Yeah.
cleanse? Are you on?
Or
do
I'm
you
gonna do the
start
cleanse
soon?
next week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
cool,
Are you
cool.
doing
Yeah.
cleanse?
I'm gonna do one.
It's
yeah.
never a convenient time. That's all I have to
I
say.
know.
Yeah.
I
Never.
think I'm okay. I'm gonna and I talked to you. And okay, I'm gonna.
I'm
do
not talking about the
next week.
cleanse. I'm talking about what happens when you're going number 2 on the cleanse. It's never a convenient time. You're gonna go a lot.
Yeah, that's what you say. So
Oh,
I
man.
need to make sure that I'm close to a toilet.
Yeah.
So I'm planning on doing one next week.
Let me tell
Awesome.
you though, the first cleanse that I did, it was the wrong kind of cleanse. Have you heard of intestinal cleanse?
No.
There was these pills, and I was just inspired to do it, and I just saw these pills like as seen on TV, intestinal cleanse, and it's, like I learned afterwards, it's one of the harshest things for your system, because it just dehydrates you like crazy. But what it does, it fills your intestines with fiber, and like it just pulls it all out.
Yeah.
But that's not the nasty part. The nasty part is after you go number 2, and like I'm so sorry guys if you're eating, put it
really
down,
graphic.
put it down. But imagine there is old fecal matter that is lining your intestines. Like imagine like plumbing, like a PVC, like plumbing.
Yeah.
You have water flow coming through. Then eventually you have like a calcification type of buildup. And like that hole that was once like this starts getting tight like this.
Yeah.
So you might be, 30 years old, let's say. And you're like, I want to start eating healthy. So you start eating organic, like you start eating grass-fed beef, and you're eating like the supplements and fish oil and all this stuff. You don't see results. Why don't you see results? Because your intestines are filled with all this crap, and like your blood is not able to absorb all the nutrients.
Yeah.
So what do? You gotta do a freaking cleanse. So I do this cleanse, and after going number 2, imagine a black fucking cesspool. Okay? Tar. That's what it looked like. Tar. Okay? And that's what's inside of you right now.
Yeah.
Like tar, parasites, leeches, like disgusting shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, every 6 months we should do it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like due for one right now.
Have you done one before?
I've done a cleanse
Have you?
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think, I feel healthy. I have energy now, so like I think, do I even need one? But when you say, this is a lifetime worth of just stuff.
Yeah.
Old KFC stuff and
It builds up every year.
Yeah.
You just got to get rid of it. Like
Yeah.
it's just honestly, it's part of it. You get an oil change every
Right.
5,000 kilometers. You
Yeah.
go to the doctor to get a physical like every
Yeah.
year. You get a freaking cleanse every 6 or 12 months just to wipe the slate clean.
Yeah.
Get those intestines working properly.
Yeah.
Because if you do want to eat organic, then you're
really getting the benefit of it.
your blood, it's gonna get into your bloodstream.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should, I'll probably do for a cleanse too.
Yeah.
Should set that up.
Isogenics is a good one too.
Yeah.
I've done that one a couple of times. But yeah, there's the recommendation I give you, I think, is the most gentle one.
Yeah. Good one to start with.
It's a good one to start with. And the way that you enhance it, you would just have a lot more protein. Oh, not protein, sorry, fiber. You just increase the amount of fiber that you use.
Yeah.
And it'll just drag you. Like, you wouldn't have that much of a problem.
Yes.
I mean, usually you could see it when people are carrying a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then they'll get dramatic effects.
So my
Your skin will clear up. Everything will be better.
That's my energy levels while I'm doing this. Like, am I still able to exercise a bit? Just maybe.
I would back off,
Trim
man.
back.
In the first week, I'd back off because it'll take you a couple of days. You'll get headaches. You'll get pain.
Yeah.
It'll be 4 days before you feel
bubbling
normal.
and
Yeah.
So what? 2 weeks is good for.
For that cleanse,
Yeah.
2 weeks. And that was recommended by a holistic nutritionist. So
Yeah. That's good. Cool.
Nice.
we should all do one together.
We should.
week.
Not
Set
number
one
2
up.
is the cleanse.
Yeah. So I've started to go to a chiropractor now. So
Oh yeah.
You know,
Interesting.
not because I have pain, but just I just want to be proactive. I don't want to have the pain and then be forced to go to something. I'd prefer to find things, hints of things happening, before they happen. So I started to do that. It's been about 2 weeks now. It's interesting, what they find.
Yeah.
So I get the odd neck pain, the odd lower back pain, nothing major. I usually just attribute it to, the way I slept. By the time I wake up, and I've got a sore neck for 4 days. So
Oh wow.
yeah. So
4 days.
yeah. So I feel like Batman. I just
You're so stiff. Like you can't even move.
So the wife makes fun of me a lot for that and many other things. But so I started to do that, and just eye-opening things. I just thought chiropractic. Oh yeah, it's just bad back stuff, but all that shit that all ties in. The spine, it ties into
It's your nervous system.
It's what keeps
It relates to everything.
the body together.
Yeah.
It
So
keeps it
Keep
running.
everything flowing
Yeah, I'm
properly.
picking up some good stuff. So he did all of his tests, and there was some severe degenerative stuff in the neck.
Wow.
What?
They call it subluxations, and if you
What is
leave
that?
them untreated, then
They can turn into
obviously
chronic
get worse.
problems.
And exactly. So
Jeez, that's intense, man.
yeah, so he's got me going through some exercises, and I've actually got like a weighted headband. I start
So you
with
have
1 pound.
exercises.
Yeah, so I have a headband that you put weights in it. So I've got 1 pound. I started with 1 pound, and because he had me stand up against a wall like this, and he took a picture. He's like, "Look at this!" Like he's like, "Oh, you look like a turtle. Like your head's like this, right?" I'm like, "Holy shit!" So now I'm a lot more aware of I catch myself, right? So I'm like, "Well, why give me a headband with weight in the front when it just push me forward?" And he's like, "Well, yeah,
Makes
you would
you
think
aware
that,
of-
but then you push it back, and you end up strengthening your neck, and you end up doing it more automatic." So he bumped me. I got 2 pounds now.
Nice.
Cool.
Cool, you're moving up in the world.
Yeah,
Doubling.
So in a couple of weeks, it goes to
Doubling the
3
weights.
pounds. So and another common thing is most people have one leg longer than the other.
Yeah.
So I just feel like an old
So
dude going
weird.
in there. He's like, "Yeah, so I'll give you a heel insert." So like, oh man, I feel so old.
You feel like
So he starts, you put this little cork insert in your shoe to raise you up a little
Yeah.
bit, and then eventually, it
They
increases.
balance
And,
you out, yeah.
yeah. So now I'm thinking about footwear, and I need a new pair of running shoes. Like I used to just
There's
go to a
so
store and
many-
just
and just pick
buy
them.
random shoes.
Yeah.
Now I know
You're
that
thinking about it,
when I
yeah.
look at my shoes, I see wear on one of the sides. I think it's called pronation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
dude, you're
You
making
buy-
me like, oh
you
man.
buy shoes now that offset how your feet are.
Yeah.
So I gotta go like to a running room or something. They've got like a little track.
They
that-
do it all.
Left,
Yeah.
left side, right side's pronated.
Both.
Okay.
You can see the wear on my shoes. So
Damn.
just stuff like that. Like it just start to make you think a little more. So he has me doing these exercises because I lean more one way. So now I've got exercises where you got to be like this, and you hold it for 10 seconds, or you stand up
balance it
against a
out.
wall and you do this for 10 seconds.
Oh
So
man,
wow.
I feel so imbalanced right now.
Yeah.
Just thinking
as we're
about
talking
it.
about it, like we're all sitting here trying to remind ourselves about our posture.
You know what? 2 things. I'd say yoga
That was
Yeah.
gonna
is
say.
gonna help you.
Well, you're doing some yoga with the P90X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second thing, manual neck resistance. I don't know if that'll help with the balance, but
Yeah.
manual neck resistance. So you would just use your force like this, and you just do reps like that,
Yeah.
and then you do it backwards as
Yeah.
well.
And he says before I put the headband on to actually do this and
stretch it
you know,
out and
give it a stretch and then
yeah,
put the
warm it
headband
up a
on.
bit.
And
Yeah, okay.
so yeah, the yoga thing.
That's
You know,
cool.
I'm getting into the yoga, the meditation, and I think I heard from some of your other talks about how it takes a bit to really get into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm being patient with it. You know, like because the mind's racing.
Yeah.
You know, you know.
So do you have a hard time shutting it down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you done it before?
Yoga?
Yeah.
I love yoga.
Yeah.
I haven't been into it as much, but when I was really into it, loved it.
Why did you stop?
Time, kids,
Yeah, hard to get focused in the yoga when
Yeah.
there's
little
screaming
ones
going
are running
on.
around. Yeah, it's hard to shut off the mind when now you're trying to listen to the kids.
Yeah. Can you go to a studio or?
I think
It's just time.
that's something that the kids are getting a little bit older and
Yeah, you can get away.
Michelle and I are going to have a little bit more time because that's
Yeah.
something that I actually proposed to her is, we've got a yoga studio that just opened up just down the street. I mean, we could walk there.
Is
And,
that a Bikram or a Moksha?
That's a
or
Moksha yoga,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool, man.
yeah. So, I mean, it's
What's-
right across the street. So I think I've proposed that's something that we should now
Yeah.
start to do together. That could
Yeah.
be something that I'd love to be able to go 2-3 times a week.
You 4.
I go
4 times,
4 or
eh?
5
Yeah,
times
you
a
go.
week.
Yeah.
I'm
And how long
freaking
did it take you to
crazy
kind of
into
just
it.
shut off and really get? Because for me, when I do yoga, it's just like, okay, I'm breathing and I'm stretching and I'm just, I don't shut off. I mean, I'm just.
Oh, when
I'm
you're
just-
thinking about
Yeah.
no, that's
Yeah.
fine. I think like you and Michelle, the hard part was the other stuff, thinking about the kids and the work, and I got to do this, I got to do that, I
Yeah,
got to do this,
that's
I gotta do that.
Before and after,
Yeah.
Yeah, the other stuff. That's where you had an issue, right? Because I know that's where Michelle had a really
It's-
hard problem, sort of shutting everything else out and just focusing on being the moment.
That's what.
Very common, man.
Yeah.
You have that issue
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
Or that
It's
I guess over
the
time
biggest
it just gets easier.
the biggest distinction is I started P90X yoga. Like that's the first
That's what I mean,
first yoga that I did was P90X. So it was always Tony Horton's voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's a freaking comedian. And which was good, right? And I just got into it and I just followed him. And for me, it was like, oh, cool, it's a good workout and I'll get more flexible and less injury. And it was very physically focused. It was just on the exercise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then when I started going to studios and learning a little bit more from the teachers, they kept calling it yoga practice. Like, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
But the reason it's called that is because it's a practice.
Yeah.
It's not like a destination or a journey.
Yeah.
Every time you come onto the yoga mat, you're a different person.
Yeah.
Every time you do that pose, you're doing it differently than you did the day before.
Yeah.
You're at a different time, a different you, different everything. And it's a practice, right? So it's like you just got to do it. You just do it when you can do it, and eventually you'll start noticing that you're getting better. You're getting more flexible.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, I could get all 5 fingers like on the ground, bent over.
Yeah.
Like like forward fold. You know how long it was? I could barely touch the floor before. Like I was halfway down my shin.
Yeah.
Now I can.
That's pretty cool.
I have all 5 fingers without even warming up first. I could have all 5 fingers on the floor. And I want to get them like, flat.
yeah.
Your palms.
Yeah, and then eventually when you have the guidance of an instructor and you're listening to your voice and like, let's say you're doing like Warrior 2 or something like that, they'll tell you stuff like, bring your shoulders up, roll it back and then roll it down and have your shoulders like connecting in the back and like extend from your fingers and they'll make you aware of your entire body.
Yeah.
And that's when you start shutting your shit off because you're like, okay, I have to be on the outside of my foot. And my body has to, my shoulders have to be right above my hips, and my fingers have to be spread, and my toes have to be spread, and like my head has to be aligned. I have to be looking over here. Then your mind is like in your entire body, and then you're in the freaking present moment.
Yeah.
And then you shut it off, and then that's it. As soon as you start like getting used to that.
How many years have you been practicing?
2009 is when I did the P90X yoga. So since 2009, so it's only been like 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we actually we just like last week Tiff bought a 10 pass for yoga.
Oh,
so I've only
how
done.
did you like it?
We haven't started yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've done yoga once. Actually, no, I've done it a couple times in the studio. I did hot yoga once, and then I did other yoga in another studio.
It's like a vacation, dude.
So what's the difference of Bikrams? Is that hot yoga?
Bikrams is
a different.
Because Bikrams is like one of the strictest forms of yoga. It's one of the best ones as well. They have a specific sequence that goes from one sequence to the next, like it's a specific manner every single time. So you go to the class, it's always the same.
Class, yeah.
It's always the same moves. You could only drink water at certain times. It's at a specific temperature, at a specific humidity.
Okay.
Okay. So they're very specific with that.
So is Bikram's hot yoga?
Bikram's
or
hot
can be hot yoga.
It is hot yoga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hatha yoga is the most popular one, which is what most people are doing. And hatha just means, I think first of all it's hot. I think I'm not 100%, but I know
it has to be hot yoga.
I don't think it has to be hatha. I think the number one thing about hatha is you're going with the flow of your breath. So as let's say you're in Warrior, like you're breathing in, and then when you exhale through your nose, then you're like settling into it. And when you inhale, you're like extending, and then when you exhale, you know what I mean. And you're going like every movement goes with the breath.
Yeah.
And that's the most popular one right
Which
now.
one do you do mostly?
Well, the studio I go to is multidiscipline, so it's every teacher
class.
there has a different discipline. So one of them. Like Evantio is one of my favorite ones. She does power yoga on Wednesdays.
What's power
and
yoga?
Power yoga is all moving.
Ashtanga yoga.
So imagine like as you breathe in,
consistently moving.
Let's say like you breathe in and then you breathe out, then you go back to the next move. Every breath is a new movement. So you get out of breath.
Is that similar to that one?
Yes. Very much so actually.
Yeah,
okay.
That first portion,
hour or
the first half.
Yeah,
I guess it would have been the first.
It's such a relief when they say that's the last.
The last vinyasa.
Vinyasa. Finally.
Yeah. I like the Ashtanga yoga because I like the consistent movement.
You get the power. You get power from it. You get really strong, and you get the cardio. It's the only one that I see stars and like get out of breath.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is that's why I like it. Because it is a challenge, right? I mean, it's like a full workout.
That is a challenge.
I know.
But you know what is a fucking crazier challenge? There's one teacher, Christine, and she does a class on, I think it's Tuesday nights, and she does yin yoga. So yin and yang. Yang is like energy. It's like action. It's like aggressive action.
Yeah.
Yin is relaxed, chilled. So the way she does it is like there's only like 11 moves for a whole hour. And each move, you're sitting in it for 12 breaths. You think moving all the time is hard? Imagine you're in one move. Let's say you're in a deep stretch. It's like stretching your glutes, stretching your IT band and your lower back, and you're bent forward, and like your quad on this side, and you're like on your head for 12 deep breaths. That's a long freaking time. And your mind is like, and you have to shut it down.
Yeah.
That, my friend, is hard.
Yeah.
I'd like to try that.
To balance, they're tough.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those advanced moves in P90X, you've got the one leg on the ground and you got the opposite arms in the air, and you're like, seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly advanced. Like, wow.
Yeah, so you should try different instructors, different disciplines of yoga. I mean, a good 10 pass.
It's good to know. It's good to know.
Good to know what you like.
I enjoyed that hot yoga the one time that I did it.
Yeah. Hot yoga was nice. First time I ever did hot yoga, Trinidad.
Oh
yeah.
Oh man, because it's hot. I mean, they don't have to heat.
Really
it's
hot.
not hot yoga.
You don't have to.
They just call it yoga. There.
Yeah. So it's just in a room, and they just shut the doors, and it's hot yoga. It's hot yoga all of a sudden. But hot yoga, just drenched.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's good because it loosens you up more. You can get deeper into the stretches.
Yeah.
It's really good for that, and it cleans you out, man.
Yeah.
Like it cleans you out.
Yeah. Hot yoga. We did hot yoga first thing in the morning. So nice.
And there's detox types of yoga.
Yeah.
Like where you're just constantly twisting and like you're putting pressure into like your liver and your kidneys. So it's just like imagine like a towel and you're wringing the water out. That's what detoxing your body is in yoga.
Yeah.
You're just twisting like and going crazy.
Yeah.
It's really freaking awesome, man.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm excited to start to get back into my yoga.
Even just once a week,
practice.
do it hot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you can do like regular temperature.
Yeah.
Regular temperature, you'll have a lot more power. You could do a lot more stuff when in your regular temperature.
Yeah. When it's hot.
When it's hot,
different.
oh my god, you're thinking about
Drains
so much
quick.
shit. You're like, fuck, I need to wipe the sweat
Yeah.
off. My face is getting in my eye and it tastes really salty. And,
Yeah. So the 4 times a week, you're going to a studio?
I'm going, no. Actually, no. It depends on what the schedule is like. So sometimes I'll do it at home if I couldn't catch a class. And I'll just do like half an hour at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when I really like doing it like that as well. Just because of P90X and instructors, and like I feel I know where to go with myself.
Do you follow P90X when you're doing it at home? Or
Usually.
you just so you just do that.
I don't follow the video, but like I usually follow a similar sequence to P90X.
Okay.
You know, you do like the sun salutations.
Yeah.
Then you do the vinyasas, and you do a vinyasa.
Yeah.
Then you do like slow down, deep stretches. Then you last one, and you're done.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I've never had an issue sort of turning my mind off when I was doing yoga. I think it's because I attribute it to the fact that I was an athlete and a swimmer.
Yeah.
So just sort of shutting your mind off and getting into doing a sport or a discipline or something like that I never really find an issue. Sort of just leaving whatever leaving the day
that's
at the
your
door.
art, man. We were talking about it. That's your art.
Just do it. Yeah.
Athleticism.
Yeah. Whenever I will go to do something, it's easy for me to just
you're in the zone.
I easily just get into the zone.
Yeah.
So if we're biking, I'm just whatever. Everything else just doesn't matter. I'm
Doesn't
focused
matter.
on that.
Yeah.
Like
Snowboarding,
Brooklyn, man.
Yeah.
It's like Brooklyn.
Yeah. Easily just pick it up, and then when you're doing it, you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never had that issue. It's weird. Like even when you and Michelle, I'm just like, do yoga. And I never really understood. She's just like, I can't shut my mind off. Like, I don't understand. Like, what are you trying to say? How could you not shut your mind off? I never really understood it because it just came so easy to me.
It wasn't in your
But I understand now. Well, like hearing so many other people talk about it, I'm like, okay, I guess
it's a huge problem, man.
Yeah,
it's a huge problem.
weird. I never really had that issue. It's just shutting stuff off. But I don't know.
But you know what it is? It's one of those things where it's like it's just gradual. And like for me, Savasana, right? It's corpse pose. It's at the end. You're just lying down on your back. And you lie down there for like a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Look forward to that.
And it's just like to absorb everything that you've done to your body.
Yeah.
And scientifically, it's because you have the most exposure to the air, so all the heat rises. So if you're lying flat on the ground, all your pores are opened up and like all your sweat is drying, and you're cooling off that way, right?
Yeah.
So for me, for the longest time, I couldn't do that freaking thing.
Really?
I'd be lying down. So I imagine this is me
Yeah.
lying down, and I'd be like this, and I just can't, and I just could not. I could not stop moving, stop thinking, stop itching, or
Yeah.
doing something, fixing my shirt, or getting a sweat. I could not stop. It was so freaking hard.
Wow.
And you're just
I love
lying
that part.
down.
I love that part too.
Yeah.
And then eventually,
I earned that.
now, I could just be like this, and I'm just completely out. And then you're just like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I came such a long way. Because it just happens so gradually.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I can lay here.
I can lay here now.
Yeah.
You don't notice the in-between part that took you so long.
Yeah.
Crane, when you're balancing on your hands.
Yeah.
That took me probably 6 months to a year to finally be up there for a minute, 2
Yeah.
minutes.
Wow.
I could be on it for I think maybe 5 minutes now. I don't even
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
haven't tried for that long. I have to time it, but
That's the part that I recognize that I've improved on. When I first started, I was
falling on your
over
face.
already.
You're
I mean,
smacking your
I
forehead.
definitely can't do 5 minutes, but at least I'm up for at least a period of time now.
Yeah.
So now
you
it's
can
just-
actually hold it for a
You
bit.
just continue to improve.
the next one
that's
is that
awesome.
I just learned when I was drunk on New Year's Eve was crane into headstand. So you're in crane like this, bouncing on your hands, and then you get your hips start to go over your shoulders. Then your head's on the ground, and
we
then
were
you,
doing that last
You
year.
were doing
weren't
that drunk?
no, I started doing it. On New Year's Eve. I just no, that was 6 months ago.
Can you do it when you're
Really?
sober now?
Yeah, New Year's Eve. I was just like, frig, I just want to do headstand. What the
we? Oh,
frick,
so
man?
you were starting to do it.
Yeah, when
Okay.
I started doing it.
But you've seen that before. I've done that
I've
for
seen
you
it before. I tried it against the wall and stuff like that, but
Okay.
by myself. I just tried over and over and over and over again, on New Year's Eve at my aunt's house, and I'm just like, I need to do this. I have to freaking do it.
So you were drunk and you did it?
Yeah.
Liquid courage?
Pure liquid courage, man. I never
So
felt.
if he fell, he would.
But the
Yeah.
next day, I'm like, oh, what the hell's wrong with my neck? What's wrong with me?
That's
Oh,
funny.
man.
You know, the last pose, when I would do yoga, I would pass out.
Sleep?
Full
Oh,
out, snoring.
God. Oh, God.
I'd have guys beside me, and they're just like, dude, you were snoring. I'm sorry, I was done, man. I was out. No problem. I
Oh,
would just lay
man.
there and snoring.
Yeah.
Just out. Because I love that, man. Just
Yeah.
you just did an hour worth of yoga,
It's perfect.
your body's detoxed, you're feeling awesome, and you're just laying there and just,
Yeah.
passed out.
Yeah. I like
Really
that part.
good. It's fulfilling, that part, man, because it's just
Very
you're
fulfilling.
so thankful. You're like, oh my God, some people can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Some people don't even have, they might not have the physical capability of enjoying what you just did.
Yeah.
So you're just like, frig, I'm so grateful right now. This moment is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single cell in your body has been freaking moved.
Yeah. They're so quick to turn the shit back on again.
Total gratitude.
The thoughts and
Some people, as soon as the class is done and they're like, namaste, or whatever, and people just storm out. I'm like, how the hell do you do that? I have no idea how people do that. And
Yeah.
they're already on their phone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I need at least a minute or two to just
Yeah.
let everyone leave the room and just kind of chill out
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll meditate afterwards. Sometimes that is the whole reason yoga exists, is to get all of that energy used up in your body so that after that you can actually meditate with
Yeah.
clarity, with peace of mind, with no other clogged energy.
yeah.
So when you're done your yoga, it's a perfect time to meditate.
Yeah.
But when you're all sweaty, that's what makes it a little harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my ass is stuck to my pants, and I got a wedgie, and I got my freaking my shirt stuck to me, and it's dripping in my sweat's dripping in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll try studio.
Yeah. I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
You'll like it. The instruction is nice.
Yeah.
Having somebody
Because
there.
I remember the couple times I did it. I mean, they were definitely correcting me a lot.
Yeah.
There was only one or two new people in the room, and there was probably at least 20 or 30 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll find that there's certain instructors that you'll resonate with, that you'll like more. It could be just the cadence of their voice, or it could be the tone of their voice. It
Yeah.
could be whether they talk too much philosophy stuff, or sometimes it might be too much, and sometimes it might be not enough. And,
Yeah.
you'll figure out what you really like.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know what it's like to do P90X yoga because it's been so long. I don't know what would happen if I put that DVD on. If Tony Horn would be annoying, or if I would just do it, or if I would just like laugh at his voice. You know what I mean?
It's an
When
hour
he
and a
says
half.
stupid stuff.
I used to think yoga was just a break. You just rest and stretch a bit. Yeah, I did that for the first time. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
This is harder than some of those other workouts.
Yeah, man. I see
really
big guys doing yoga at my studio.
Yeah.
Like freaking guys who look like huge, like hockey players, football players. Like they
Yeah.
look massive. They're probably like 210, 220.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like huge and they're doing it. I'm just like, that's awesome, man. It's like
Yeah.
more, maybe 5 years ago, they would have never stepped into
Yeah.
a yoga studio.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's just like, more people understand. Like, wow,
The
there's
benefits of it.
so much more benefit to
Yeah.
it.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I started to do some meditation. Again, still having some tough time, shutting the mind off. But
That's one of the harder things to do, yeah.
Just,
shutting the mind off.
yeah, I've heard the benefits of it, so I'll give it a try. So we'll see how it goes.
Nice.
So I'm
Very
getting in the
nice.
habit of scheduling that stuff.
Is that on your well-being checklist now? Like getting
Yeah.
a couple minutes
one
of
of the
meditation?
things is yoga and meditation, and that's usually the thing I don't get to. So I've scheduled morning meditation on Tuesday and Thursday, and Wednesday I've scheduled yoga. But again, through P90X. So I'm going to try hitting up a studio and see if I can find one I like, and see if I can at least go once a week.
Nice.
See where it takes me.
Good for
Cool,
you.
man.
Yeah.
Do it
Good
up.
for
Let us know
you.
how it goes, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Tiff's interested in doing a little bit of it too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
She'll be spending a lot of time, I'm sure, in the yoga studio.
Yeah, she'll
for
have
her
some
4
time.
months off.
Yeah. She'll have some time to go to that stuff now
Yeah.
throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, when no one else is in
You
there.
drop the kids off, and
That's
there
the
you
best
go.
time, man.
Like, it is the best time to go during
During
the
the
day.
day.
It is really good.
Yeah. Nice.
Because you're
Yeah.
sitting there, you're thinking, geez, what is everybody else doing? I'm
Yeah.
sitting here doing it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we gotta get those rides going. Let's we'll
I
do
know.
like
We
holistic
gotta-
entrepreneur, extreme stuff.
Yeah, let's invite a couple more people and see if they want to come out and bike
Were you
next
saying
week, too.
Irwin?
Yeah, everyone.
We'll figure out
everyone's
we'll
down.
figure out a good day.
Yeah.
I have a really busy couple of weeks coming up with work, so we would have to time it like
Balance, man, balance.
yeah,
Balance.
time it well.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
sometimes it'll be hard to get everybody together. I mean, it'll be good if we can, but
We did a good, last year, almost every 2 weeks?
That's what we
got
shot for,
together
yeah.
like 3 or 4 straight times. It was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, we went a
Getting
couple
out for a
times.
couple
we
hours.
have to go. Yeah, we have to
Every-
go
we
more.
finally, the last one we didn't get lost on, but
Yeah.
Actually, you
go.
know what? If we rock them early in the morning, it's perfect. If we rock them
yeah.
early,
Remember we filled up with that fresh water from the
Yeah.
Oh,
The well?
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
that would be amazing.
That was
again.
good.
Yeah.
That was
Fresh
really
well
good.
water.
Yeah.
It's nothing like it. And Cam, man, he lives right there. He lives in Dundas.
He lives in Dundas now, yeah.
Yeah, we got to connect.
I don't know if
with
he's got a
him.
bike, though.
I got to drag him on the show too.
Yeah.
We do have to drag him on the show.
Are you still?
Yeah, we're almost done.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So it looks like we're at the. Wow, it's 10:07.
Is it already?
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Time flies, huh?
So
That went quick. When did we start? 8?
started at 8.
Holy.
Over 2 hours. So yeah, Meridius Radio. Make sure to follow us on Facebook.
Holistic Entrepreneur.
Holistic Entrepreneur. You can find us on Facebook as
Is
well.
it holistic or the Holistic Entrepreneur?
.com, yeah, facebook.com/the holistic
Oh,
entrepreneur.
so it is under the Holistic. I can't
Yeah.
remember what I said.
And
about
find us
this.
all on Facebook as well. Subscribe to our channel, Meridius Media on YouTube and Holistic Entrepreneur on YouTube, and tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah. So studentgiant.com. That's what that's my website for student rentals, and realestatebusinesscoach.com is the
you guys
the
got
coaching
a-
that we do.
For the coaching
You guys
business.
got a website
Yeah.
up already?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, and we
Oh, yeah, I
host
haven't
Yeah, with Greg Hapsford video on there.
public
Yeah.
mastermind meetings, usually monthly.
Yeah, what's coming up for you? Yeah, tell everyone what's coming up for you.
So in a couple of weeks, I don't have the date on me, but
wait, 23rd, I think.
I think Joey,
June 23rd.
Yeah, Joey's telling us that we
Yeah,
gotta come out
it's
and
coming
one
out.
of those.
yeah.
Oh man,
so
I think it's the
usually
same day as that scavenger hunt.
Is it?
I don't
We'll
think
find
so.
out.
Yeah, okay,
you guys
we'll
are doing
figure
a
it out.
monthly, yeah?
I think I'm gonna go to that. Are
Yeah.
you gonna come? to
Yeah.
that? I think
Well, he was
Yeah.
telling us we should come out and audit one of them.
Yeah. So yeah, we
Oh,
did
that's-
that.
Attend.
We
Scope out
usually,
the scene.
We do that monthly. So it's limited to 5 people. So we have
Okay.
some focus time on everybody, help
Beautiful.
them through their challenges. So we do that monthly. So if you're interested in anything like that, just check our website. We update the dates on that regularly.
Perfect.
So, and
The masterminds that you guys are doing, are they very similar to the ones that we did? Or are they a little bit different? Are they sort of guided by you and Joey?
yeah, they're guided.
They're
so
guided,
we
yeah.
give them some prep before they come. So it's it's really focused when
Okay.
we get there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Excellent.
the more effort they put into it up front, the more they get out of the day.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So
And people to need to make sure to subscribe to your Facebook updates. All your positive,
Yes.
all the photos, all the quotes, the daily doses are
Yeah,
freaking. They're awesome.
yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, I get massive value myself reading it, so I just want to share
Pass
it
it on. Yeah.
Mm.
help make someone else's day better.
Yeah. I look
Yeah.
forward to those in the morning.
Yeah.
Seeing your morning quotes. I'm
Sometimes
like,
I
yes.
just get so many of them. Like I don't want to flood people's pages, but I'm like, "Fuck, these are awesome.
Yeah, because
Love
I'll read
these.
them and just like, oh, Mike's got another one. Cool. Like
Yeah.
that one. I'm like, read this one. Oh, like that one too.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go on a rampage, just like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a great way to start the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
totally.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Cool stuff,
Cool.
man.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the invite, guys.
Thanks
It's
for
great.
driving all the way up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
It'll be a nice drive back home now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roads will be nice and clear.
And the show will be up as soon as I hit stop recording, stop broadcasting.
Yeah.
It'll already be up on Ustream. Then it'll be up on YouTube. And
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
all
Thanks
right,
for
brother.
coming by, man.
The great Mike Gillespie.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
All right, man.
Yeah.
We'll have you back on soon.
Cool.
Peace.
See ya.